Okay. Amazing. Okay. Alita, what was the last thing you heard? Thank you, Kylie. Thank you, Devent. Thank you, Flower. Have fun in the rain. Very good. If you guys can just help make sure people, I don't know that you can even post in that old chat, but if you can help me make sure people get here, that would be fantastic. I would really appreciate that. Alita, don't worry, I still have your chart up. We'll go back into there and have some chit chat. But I need to know, what was the last thing that you heard me say? Okay. Because in knowing that, I'll know what I need to repeat to make sure that you get the rest of your reading. All right. There we go. The thing about being shy but not introverted. Okay. Golly, I don't even remember what your question was after all of that. Oh, why are things stagnant? Okay, got it. Okay. Let's get into this. Thank you so much, Kylie. I really appreciate it. Let me share screen and we are back. Thank you guys for your patience. Sometimes the technical glitches can be a little bit more abundant during Mercury retrograde, but I love that you've been hanging out so patiently and allowing me to work with them as best as I can and assuming good intent here with me. I really appreciate that. So I see you're not a shy person, but I also see that you're in a season of your life where it's necessary for you to pull back, where, Alita, this isn't the time for kind of thrusting yourself out there. This is the time for internal reflection and reconstruction. This is a moment where instead of harvesting fruit or building a new thing, this is the time for actually taking things down, reinventing yourself. That's what this is talking about. It's a season for starting over in a lot of ways. And this energy is with you this year. It's with you into next year. And not just into next year, but into the following as well. And it won't, I do see that since November, December, it has felt extremely challenging for you. But the kind of challenge that you faced, especially as you closed out the year in November, this is not the same kind of challenge that you're going to face as you continue to move into the next several years. It will start to get a bit lighter, a bit easier. The hardest part of this is in fact behind you, Alita. But one of the key challenges of this period of time is just recognizing that this is a place of pause, taking stock, reinventing, recreating yourself, as opposed to forward moving, capitalizing on your dreams, getting after them. This is the kind of time where if that's what you're doing, you're actually going to find a lot of closed doors at this juncture, unfortunately, and it's not because the ideas are necessarily wrong. It's more so that the timing is wrong and that the ideas need a little brushing up. That's all. All right, Alita, let's go ahead and have a look here at your tarot pull. Like I said, this is a several-year transit. I'm sorry it's been so hard. Forward movement isn't necessarily recommended at this time, but inner reflection is. It's a time of taking stock. So hopefully that's kind of resonating with what your intuition has been telling you anyway. Let's pull some tarot for Alita. We would like to know, why are things stagnant in her world at this time? What's up with the stagnancy in Alita's world right now? What does she need to know about the stagnancy outside of what can be shown to her in the astrology? What does she need to know about the stagnancy? Oh, that's odd. Okay, fine. What's okay? And there it is. I knew it. Oh my gosh. So I was pulling from one deck. Yeah, this makes sense. I was pulling from one deck and the first card came out and no other cards were coming out, Alita. And then immediately, like, my guides flashed for me in my brain. It's because you need to pull the second set of cards from this other deck. And I was like, I never use two decks for one spread, 3-card spread. And I was like, it must be because the card that initially came out in reverse must need to also come out upright. And sure enough, it did. The initial card for your spread is the High Priestess in reverse. We've followed by the 2 of Wands upright, and then the High Priestess upright. So you've got the High Priestess here twice. And in the middle, you've got the 2 of Wands. So this is telling me that it's like you're sitting in between your shadow and your light when it comes to allowing these changes to happen. Both major arcana cards, because it's the High Priestess, this is telling me this information is coming from your higher self. And what you've been struggling with is holding on to what your higher self is showing you instead of falling down into your shadow energies. Bottom of the deck, we've got the Death card upright. And this is telling me that you have come to a place of endings in your world, completions of a cycle. Whether you were ready to complete this cycle or not, the universe has stepped in, it has intervened, it has said, we're not going in this direction anymore. There's a new direction for you, but what I'm going to need you to do is surrender. Surrender to your higher self. Surrender to, like, pay attention to what you've been shown about this segment of your life. Pay attention to what's been revealed to you via your intuition. The visions you've been shown, and this is specifically the message that's coming through for you with these decks that I'm using. I'm being told that you have been shown a vision of where your life is meant to go, what you could be, what you could do. There's specifically been almost like, and I can see you've been holding this vision almost like a promise in your heart from the divine, a promise in your heart from God. And at this moment, this crossroads, there's a part of you that's going, God, how could you? How could you show me these things and then have my life fall apart in this way? And there's this recognition of feeling like things are a bit not only unfair, but a bit like wondering, like, well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I'm crazy. None of that is accurate. What's actually happening here, Alita, is that you were given the vision and now you are being taken on the journey of getting to the fulfillment of that vision. That what's happening right now is exactly what has to happen in order for you to get there. You had it in mind that it was going to go a certain way. Source has stepped in and said, no, there's a different path to what we showed you, but we just need you to let go of your shadow's hand, allow these things that are completing to complete. Everything we promised you is what you will receive, but you're gonna have to trust. You're gonna have to have some faith. You're gonna have to let go of holding on to what was so that we can take you on the journey to what will become, what we've shown you is coming, what we've promised you is coming. You're gonna have to trust us. And not us, but it's really this High Priestess. This talks about your higher self. This talks about surrendering to your higher self. Okay. All right, Miss Alita, thank you for letting me read for you. And sorry for that interruption, but I gotta say, there's something about it, Alita, that's almost like divinely, it's a divinely inspired part of your message. Crystal, it's your turn next. If you could go ahead and place your question, Crystal, I'd really appreciate it. It is your turn. But you see how the live stream abruptly cut off. And you see how in that abrupt cut off, it was like we had to jump tracks. The track we were on, the live stream we were on wasn't going to get us to the vision of your completed reading, the fulfillment of what you paid for, what you invested in with all your creativity energy on that 5th house, 11th house axis. It wasn't gonna, you could not get there from here is what we're being shown. And so that live stream interruption that we had was really like emblematic experientially for you about what it is you are experiencing now. The vision is right. You're headed in the right direction. There may be a few tweaks along the way, but you've been shown where this is going. And if you can allow yourself to jump out of the old path and jump into the new one, you will get there from the new path. The old path, you couldn't get there from here. Okay. So trust the process, even though it doesn't look like it's headed where you want to go. You've been shown where this lands. Trust. Okay. Where is Crystal? Okay. Yes, I have been shown several times. It's just hard to keep the faith. Yeah. Hang in there, Alita. I totally understand why you would say that. You know, it's hard. It's hard to, like, when you were shown that you're going to X destination, but the way to get there is to go in the opposite direction. It's hard to trust. I get it. I get it. Hang in there though, okay? Okay. I'm going to read for Crystal and then it's Teresa's turn. Teresa, if you could get ready to paste your question and your birth details when I call your name, that would be ideal. Thank you so much. Welcome, Katie T. Well, I'm glad to have you here today. Hey, Manessa Intuitive Guide. Wonderful to see you. That's a great question. How do you get a reading? I forgot to paste the information for you inside the chat. So let me grab that for you. The list is open. So if you'd like to get on the list, you can. It's not terribly long. This is how you do it. Actually, not like that. Let me remove that. This is how you do it. There's a PayPal link. I can do one question, one chart, mini readings, and it is $25.25. If you would like to add tarot clarifiers onto that or oracle clarifiers, you can definitely do that. That's $35.35 USD. The payment link is right there. I'm going to pin it to the top of our chat as well. I'm going to read for Crystal now, then Teresa, and if you've made your payment, by the time I finish with these two, it will then be your turn. Okay, Miss Crystal. She says, I wish to understand more about how to motivate myself to take action. How do I light a fire under my butt to become more productive? Essentially, how can I help myself get my act together? That is awesome. It's a beautiful question. I need to find Crystal's birth details. I don't see them here. Okay, thank you very much. Texas, Dallas. August 31, 1993, and 9:30 p.m. Beautiful. Thank you so very much for your patience, you guys. And for those of you who joined us from the last live stream, I super appreciate it. I'm going to be double checking the payment apps when I finish with Crystal. Crystal wants to know how to light a fire under her own butte to accomplish the things she wants to accomplish. Okay, interesting. Yeah, the first thing that's standing out to me about your chart is all of this earth energy that you have. You have an abundance of earth energy in your chart. You've got an earthy sun and earthy Mercury. You've got an earth midheaven and 10th house and Uranus and Neptune. And the first thing that came to mind as I was observing this is that I think it's like one of the first laws of physics: an object in motion stays in motion. Inertia is your enemy. Doing nothing is your enemy. And so there is something here for you that is talking about the necessity of doing anything rather than nothing. I don't care if you go roller skating, just get out of your house. There's this thing going on where if you're just doing things, it unclogs the log jam that all of this Virgo energy can facilitate in the world of analysis paralysis, which I see can be a bit of a problem for you. I also see here your moon Pisces 12th house facilitates a lot of downloads for you. You get a lot of good ideas and a lot of clarity about what you're supposed to be doing. And because you have so much cardinal energy in your chart, taking action, I know it's actually not a problem for you unless you've settled into a pattern of inertia, unless you've settled into a prolonged pattern of taking no action, which, coming off the heels of 2020, where, you know, everyone was asked to be inside their house, be less social, you know, do everything from your home, work, socialize, sleep, eat, you can't leave your house. I'm not surprised that a pattern of inertia got initiated. I'm also seeing that as of 2020, there were some significant job changes for you as well. And those job changes may have left you with some question marks as to where you're headed, what you're doing, which way is up. I see you're in your Saturn return year now. Saturn's coming back to its home position in your chart. So there is some divine intervention that's pushing you, pulling you into alignment with what you're here to manifest. That's what Saturn returns do: closes out things, opens up other things, forces divine will, higher self upon you instead of waiting for you to take action. And so there's the only thing I'm seeing that's missing here is that if you're experiencing stagnancy, latency, inertia, it's because there's literally no action happening. And my suspicion is that you've probably been a little holed up in your house this year, probably doing a little bit of nothing this year, maybe a little bit too much solo Netflix and chilling this year. And maybe because there's just been not a lot happening, nothing's happening. Objects in motion stay in motion. So like I said, I don't care if you walk, if you roller skate, if you get up and do the dishes, if you clean out a closet, if you phone a friend and take a drive, doing something is going to dislodge the blockage for you. Oh my goodness, yes, left a corporate job to do with some humanity work with kids and autism. One of the reasons why you're not able to move forward career-wise with this energy has a lot to do with the ways that, number one, I definitely see your self-esteem took a hit by the time 2021 came. Some doubt may have crept in. And then the second thing I'm seeing is that it's like something about the corporate flow. Two things: one, didn't really work for you, but two, It didn't work for you because of the ways, Crystal, that it's not really who you are. But figuring out who you are and what you wanted, it almost looks like some of us actually really need the 9 to 5. We need the structure of that to create productivity. In fact, I've heard a lot of moms with kids say, I've been more productive now that I have kids than I ever was as a single person. I wasted so much time. And so what I'm seeing here for you is that the structure of the corporate world had you in motion. It had you acting, moving. It limited your time in such a way that it forced you to prioritize and execute, prioritize and execute, prioritize and execute. And that rhythm really served you. So having left a corporate job and now trying to be on your own, what may be missing is a little bit of rhythm. And if you can get that rhythm back in some way in your day-to-day life, and I see Jupiter opposing that 6th house of the day-to-day life the first 6 months of this year, it's really stopped you. Somebody has some information that's coming through that has nothing to do with this. Okay. Crystal, this is the cards that came forward in your tarot pool are telling me a whole different story about what the problem has been. It looks like there's a relationship, likely romantic in nature, that hit the rocks a little bit. Wheel of Fortune reversed, 2 of Cups upright, Lovers reversed. Feelings are there, follow through is not. And Temperance at the bottom of the deck. Were you romantically attracted to or involved with someone who was from your work world? And because you are not working with them anymore, it's kind of been a little bit of like, well, fuck, now what? How are we ever going to get together if I never see them anymore? It could be that, but it could also be something else entirely, where there's, let me just open up again and just see. This looks like love. It looks like love that hit the rock. So it could have nothing to do with work at all, but something about the shift in the way things are going and the inertia that's been created in you has taken things off. No. Oh, I get it now. Got it. It's the inverse. Things got inertia like in some sort of romantic connection. And then there's that energy is seeping. It's seeping into your service world, your 6th house, your day-to-day life. Got it. Got it. Okay. Okay. So what there is to do is two things, because Temperance is upright at the bottom of the deck, and that's the supporting energy for this 3-card spread. With Temperance upright bottom of the deck, this is telling me that whatever kind of went sideways romantically, if there was some sort of separation or some sort of the connection being there but not fully manifesting all the way, Temperance bottom of the deck is telling me it wasn't manifesting because it wasn't time. I recently thought things with whom I believed to be my twin flame were on track, but okay, it may not all the way be time, but if there's some stillness happening in that connection, what's happening in your work world, if that's that you're not lighting a fire under your butt, because this is telling me you're in waiting energy. And in order to get out of waiting energy, there needs to be an acceptance of the connection manifesting at the right time with Temperance upright. The acceptance of the connection unfolding in divine order and in divine sequence. Acceptance of the connection and the way the connection wants to present at this moment, not the way you wanted it or thought it could, would, should, ought to present. Okay, that's what's going on here. There's a little bit of a delay between you getting there in your consciousness and accepting this, and then allowing your life to still move forward. And that's okay. Sometimes, you know, when things like take like a turn, it's like, oof, it kind of can catch us off guard. And I'm not saying that this was like a difficult turn. It just looks like you've been set separately. Lovers reversed, Wheel of Fortune reversed. There wasn't a Tower moment. I don't see anything like that. I don't see anybody leaving the other person. It just looks like the universe is like, perfect, they got it, they're connected. Now we can take them on their next step of the journey, which is Crystal does this, the guy does that. And so once they're on the next step of the journey, then we can continue to help them move along the path of this manifesting in the right period of time. This period of time that you're coming out of was the period of time of recognition. It wasn't the period of time of manifestation. And so because you've come through the recognition period of time, which is beautiful and lovely, now you're going through you will come accept it, right? Like, oh, cool, I got the insight. The connection is there. It's totally real. That part is there. Now it's time to move on to the next stage of your journey. And if you can kind of get in, like just recognize that, you're going to find that your motivation problems will subside. Because like I said, I don't see ending energy there, Crystal. Not at all. What I saw going on there was just the first step is recognition. Now we can do some work with them because there's recognition. Okay, Teresa, it's your turn, babe. Let me stop and check my payment apps as I said I would, so that the people who have paid can make it fully onto my written list. You'll have to let me know how that resonates for you, Crystal. But yeah, it just looks like you're allowing what seems like inertia. It appears as inertia in your romantic life to seep into the other areas of your life. And it's not actually inertia. And so my caution to you is to just be very mindful of the energy that you're bringing to the experience of it, because that energy of Wheel of Fortune reversed can very quickly turn into like moon reverse, like depression energy, if you're not careful. So just recognize that it was a timing thing more than anything. You're not off track. The timing for what you've experienced was first step, recognition. Next step, do some other things. Like just keep moving. And honestly, like I said, because your chart really read in this way that talked about any kind of movement for you is better than no movement. No movement is going to be a serious vibe killer. You need momentum to create momentum. And it could be anywhere. Like I said, just go to a yoga class, but do something with your body. Create some movement with your body. Okay. All right. Let's reshare screen here. Okay, let me see. Trying so hard to move on from the waiting energy. My gut was afraid you were going to tell me this, so I decided not to ask a love-related question. Oh, Crystal, I understand. I totally understand, but you know, sometimes the message that we need comes through in other ways. So, all right. Well, that's the other thing too, is you do have divine insight and awareness. You do know. And I love that you said nothing about it and the message still came through. This tells me that you're very intuitively tapped in. And so you can trust your intuition. Teresa says her birthday is February 26, 1992. Tacoma, Washington, 10:30 p.m. Okay. I have it right. Teresa, Tacoma, 2/26/92, 10:30 p.m. Okay, got it. Now, Let me see what's going on here. I recently, oh no, wait. Okay. As a new mom, how can I slow down, be present, stay grounded, and show up for myself, particularly my body, as I show up for my happy, precious baby? Teresa, congratulations on your new baby. I'm really happy to hear you have a new baby. New babies, new babies. Okay. Crystal says, I have been moving and being active a bit more. Has been keeping from falling into depression energy. Thanks so much for such a beautiful message. Very good. Thank you, Kimoon. What a beautiful reading. Definitely nailed it. Okay, cool. I'm glad that resonated for you. All right, Miss Teresa. Let's see. How can she slow down, take care of herself and her body now that she's a new mom? Oh, I love it. Okay. Hmm. You know, it's energy. It's interesting. I'm looking at your chart and seeing the way your placements are set up. You, my dear, do have very introverted energy. I think you know this about yourself, that the alone time really replenishes and rebuilds you. The first thing that popped up as I was looking for your house of healing and that fifth house for children, Pisces and Aries on these two houses let me know that you personally, especially because you have the Pisces sun, Teresa, you have a deep need for a spiritual practice in your world. For you, one of the things that will help you slow down the most is movement. I don't know if you've ever like exercised before, and after like a really sweaty class or like a run or a jog or like a yoga class or something or a spin class, after that class, for you, this is telling me that your mind settles down. That after some, like, it's not the class that gets you to a place of peace and calm and centeredness and nurturing. It's, you don't get there during the class, you get there after. One of my favorite meditation teachers is famous for saying, we don't meditate to get better. How does she put it? Like we meditate to get better at life. We don't meditate because it's fun or because it feels good. We meditate because meditation is, outside of meditation is where we experience all the benefits of it. It's not in the meditation itself. And so this is really telling me, Teresa, that it's going to assist you significantly if you can find, an hour twice a week where you can just be in some sort of at-home movement practice for 1 hour. Even if your dog tired, during that 1 hour, if you can just move your body gently, you can do, there's like YouTube videos, free videos. There's this woman named Kseni that I like a lot, Ksney, and she does Qigong with Kseni. There's plenty of YouTubers who do full yoga classes on YouTube. Gentle yoga, yoga nidra, like, all of that, relaxing flow, postpartum flow, that kind of stuff. If you can just take an hour a couple of times a week just to be with your body again, because your body just went through this beautiful transformative process where you shared it for 9 months with another being. Now that being has its own body, and this is your sacred time to come back home to your body as just yours. And so it can be a little sad. There can be a little bit of, the postpartum, the baby blues, and some of that as well, given the extreme amount of water in your chart. I mean, it's not super extreme, but it's still a lot. This can be a very magical time for sure. But the way you do that nurturing, the way you come back to yourself for you, it's through movement. And it's not because of how you feel when you're doing the movement. It's because of who you become and how you feel after. That's how you come back to yourself. For some people, it's through talking to a friend. For other people, it's journaling. And still for other people, work and cleaning and kind of like organizing things centers them. For you, what really centers you and brings you back home is always going to be some sort of action, some sort of movement with Aries on your 6th house there like that. It doesn't have to be vigorous. And I'm not talking about a CrossFit right now. What I'm talking about is the need to just have the experience of your body as your own. That's going to recenter you in it. Okay. Let's see. That was Miss Teresa. I'm going to pull some cards for her. Let me get regrounded in her question really quick. Where's Teresa's question? How can I slow down? 1 hour of activity twice a week. You're going to feel great. You're going to be way more present, way more grounded. You're going to be able to show up for yourself way more if you can just come back into your body. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Page of Pentacles reverse, the Hermit reverse. Yeah. How can she come back to? How can she stay grounded and show up for herself? How can she stay grounded and show up for herself? Luminary guidance. If you're Manessa, then I have it. How can she stay grounded and show up for herself? Okay. Oh, wow. These are all reversed. Oh. This is a funny message. Page of Pentacles reverse, the Hermit reverse, the Five of Swords reverse. This is telling me that overall, you've been so focused on how to do this that you've thought yourself right out of it. This is telling me you were already doing it. That there's something about the way that you were showing up and that you were operating, Teresa. You were already doing the thing that you need to do in order to be able to answer the question there. Like, slow down, be present, come home to your body as a new mom, the whole thing. But what happened, this is telling me that there was like a bit of like somewhere along the way. And why is that? What's the bottom of the deck? Oh, I got it. Knight of Wands reversed. Okay. This is telling me that you moved into the process of overthinking it a little bit because you still didn't feel like yourself. And the message that's really coming through is that you're not gonna. Because the self that you are now is not the woman you were before. There has been a bit of an ending here and a new beginning. The women in their wisdom years talk about how, they feel like they lost a part of themselves after they became a mother. And they lost another part of themselves after their children left home. And then they lost something different of themselves when they moved into their wisdom years. And even if they go as far back to the onset of getting their period, they lost something of themselves then. And so as women who incarnate in a biologically female body, and we go through those hormonal changes that come with this body, these kinds of things at each segment of change come with us becoming different people through each process. The way the hormones wash through the brain, there are tons of research and studies on this. It changes the way the neurological pathways fire. And so you have new neural chemicals that have come online. That's what these roots in this card are about. Okay, you've had new neural chemicals come online that are washing through the very foundation of who you are, that are making you a different person. And even though you've already been doing the stuff, Teresa, and you don't feel like yourself, it's because there's a new self here. And the process that you're working on right now isn't coming back to yourself. It's getting to know the new you, hun. That's what's going on here, okay? Is getting to know this new version of you. And what will help you with that is, you know, being really anchored into the physical body and remembering that even though there was a life that came through it, that and you shared, and that body was yours and theirs for a while. Now that body is just yours again, but you're a different person than you were when that being came in to share with you. And it's okay to be a different person, to not feel like yourself. But what you're going to be doing as you explore the process, what you're going to be doing as you explore the process is going through the experience of who am I now? That's what's going on here, is you working the process of who am I now? Okay. You're already doing it. Don't overthink this. All right. You're already doing it. Okay. So for anyone who has been listening and found this intriguing and who would like to get a reading, you definitely can. Our list is open. I'm going to read for Kelly next, then Manessa. Let me see who else may have joined here in the payment apps. After Manessa, I have Lucy. And then after Lucy, I have Jenny A. And then I have Pavi. Okay. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so Kelly, let's have your question. Teresa says, absolutely, so spot on. Thank you. That got very emotional for me towards the end. Excited to get to know me. Very good. Very good. Yeah, and welcome to the tribe of mothers here on planet Earth. Welcome to motherhood. It's a beautiful journey. It's, you know, and this, try to remember the soul chose you for a reason, and that there's going to be lots of growth and learning in this next season of your life. I've been feeling sad, and that brought me so much hope. Oh, good. I'm glad I could help restore hope for you. Yeah, and it makes sense. You know, the baby blues are a real thing. Postpartum depression, a lot of women go through it. There is this sense of loss and grief after having a child. And some of it is just like the hormones draining out, right? Like the very high levels of hormonal activity that a woman needs to generate in order to be able to put together a baby being. When those hormones leave the body, because you're no longer creating a baby being, there's so much research out there that talks about when those hormones exit, a woman can feel very depressed, very flatline. It can feel like getting dropped from a very high height. And so if that's something you might be experiencing, just know that it's normal, but you also don't have to go through it alone. There are support groups online, therapists who specialize in this, coaches and small groups to help new moms adjust. There's sometimes, in some cases, supplements and medications. Don't go through this alone, okay? Hey, Kool-Aid Man, welcome. It's great to see you. Been a minute since we've all been here together again. So happy you're here. What time is it today in India right now? 7 a.m. Okay. 9/5/78 Indianapolis 7. Okay, Kelly, let's go for it with your question, hun. After I do Kelly, then Manessa, I'm going to do you. And then Lucy, then Jenny, then Pallavi. Okay, Kelly. Kelly asks, I made some huge changes, and how do I calm my anxiety? Ooh, cool. You're building prototypes for a research paper idea. Right on, Kool-Aid man. Welcome. Thanks for saying hi. Great to have you. Good luck with the research prototypes, the prototypes you're building. When I look at your chart, Kelly, for things, let me just see how you're built around anxiety first. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. Okay. When I'm looking at this for what would facilitate anxiety in your world, and this is true for everyone, but I see it's especially true for you. Let me make sure I say this correctly. Okay, first of all, with Uranus squaring your natal Mercury, there is a bit of built-in anxiety, even if you don't make major changes. Even if you don't do that, there's still kind of a level of low-lying anxiety that kind of goes on in your life a little bit all the time. When I look at this for where it comes, yeah, this is for you, this is all about perception. And the major anxiety point that I'm seeing with the stacked second house of self-worth and self-esteem that unfortunately includes Pluto and Mars sitting with your moon, Uranus speaking to Mercury, Mercury being the ruler of your house of reputation. This is telling me that the thing that gets under your skin the most is worrying about the way the people around you are going to perceive the changes that you've made. This is going to make you feel like, when I look at this for you, Kelly, anytime you make any change, even if it's just cutting your hair, I can honestly see for you that there's just a little bit of extra nervousness about seeing people and people seeing you in the new way. And how are they going to respond? And what are they going to do? And what if they do this? Then I have to respond. And then what do they do that? There's a lot of like, oh, premeditation, pre-calculation, mental spinning and looping that can happen post change. And so to mitigate and to manage this, my suspicion is that you made the changes that were necessary for you. So I want to really congratulate you on this for really doing, your work for you. But the other thing that I want to say is that the people in your world, if I'm looking at the placements here, they value you more highly than you give them credit for. When I'm looking at this, this is telling me that some of the self-consciousness that you have, it's not warranted. There's stories that you may be making up about the way people see you and how they will perceive the changes that you made that aren't necessarily true. And so what there is to do about this, I want you to, when we're done here, I want you to Google cognitive distortions, Kelly. There are probably about 10 to 15 core cognitive distortions. And what this is talking to me about is, and the way to calm your anxiety is to start the process of working through the cognitive distortions so that you can call you can use your conscious mind to call out your unconscious mind when it submits for your consideration that things could blow up in your face. When your subconscious submits for your consideration, catastrophe, you want to be able to engage your conscious mind to talk it down. In your case, catastrophe, like I'm saying, it sounds like for you, the major worry is, what are other people going to think about me? And to your credit, you're very intuitive. I think you know that for some people, some of the changes that you've made, it doesn't work for them. I also think that you know that the changes were inevitable anyway. And finally, I suspect that because that there's a transition point in these relationships, you've made the changes, it's done. What there is to do about this is to be patient while other people make the decision about whether or not they want to be in relationship to the new way that you're working, to your new orientation, to your power. Okay. So that's what I'm getting here, that you're trying to anticipate what people are going to do. And that's not really fair to you or them. Mentally give yourself that break of acknowledging they're sovereign human beings. They've got their own journey. If they want to be around a healthy version of me, they will. If they don't, then I have it in me. I've grown enough to be able to hold in acceptance that me in my power is not a version of me that works for them. And as sad as that is for me, I honor that wherever, that the way they're at in their journey right now, they could only handle a version of me that was a bit diluted, a bit watered down. Now this spread is very interesting. Okay. Kelly, I've got the 5 of Wands reversed. I've got the 2 of Wands upright, came out with its own clarifier, the King of Wands. The final card in the spread was the Knight of Cups. So this is kind of telling me that, let me open up a little bit here more and see, what is this about? Oh, okay. So then what is this Knight of Cups at the bottom of, like, here? Who's this final one? Oh. Okay, I got it. Okay, so here we go. The combination of these cards from this deck, the Light Seers Tarot, 5 of Wands reversed, 2 of Wands upright, King of Wands as the clarifier to that 2 of Wands. I love that clarifier and the message that came through. And then the Knight of Cups as the final piece. This is telling me that the decisions you made had to do with people who were very close to you, probably soul family. There could have been a romantic partner in some of this, or at least someone who you idealized or fancied in that way, Kelly, as the romantic partner. And what this is telling me is that these people in your world were bringing to you the way they wanted to interact with you, the way they wanted to play with you in the sandbox was they could win or you could win, but you couldn't both win. And you've gotten to a place in your world, Kelly, where you have got, where there's some kind of, this feels like you slid into alignment. It wasn't like a major tower moment had happened. It wasn't like anything new occurred. It was none of that. But this is telling me that the dawning awareness for you was like, oh, okay, well, if it's you or me, and you can't fathom a world where it's you and me, it's time for me to choose me then. And so this is telling me that alignment that's happened here, where you're choosing you, is what's leading you. You know that card in the Doreen Virtue deck that says, your self-love makes you more attractive. I don't know if you've ever seen readers pull that card. I don't have that deck, but the Knight of Cups finalizing this tells me that you directing love toward you is what is going to redirect the flow from other people, self-loving them to loving you. Bottom of the deck supporting this reading is the Queen of Wands. So we've got 5 of Wands reversed, 2 of Wands upright, King of Wands is the clarifier, Queen of Wands here. The divine counterparts are here. But it's only through standing in the portal of that self-love that the counterpart ship comes together. And so, yeah, there was a bit of like recognizing that someone, I don't know who this is, it could be multiple people, really put you in that position of like, yo, Kelly, it's you or me, but you can't win if I'm winning. And there was this part of you that got to a place of clarity. Well, if it's you or me, then it's gonna be me. And so that clarity has arrived, and this is going to have what I would say is probably a counterintuitive impact for you, Kelly. You think it's going to make these people go away. They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. Okay, Kelly. Now it's Manessa. You're going to have to tell me how that resonates for you, but that's the message that came through as I saw that spread. It is Manessa's turn now. I'm going to double check the payment app here and see if there's anyone to add to the list. The list is open. As my wonderful moderator, Kylie, has mentioned, the way to get on the list is the blue pinned comment at the top of the chat. It tells you where the payment info is, how much it is to get on the list, and I'll slide you in line as soon as you've made payment. Manessa's next, then Lucy, then Jenny, then Pavi. Okay, very good. So yeah, you're gonna have to tell me how that resonates, Kelly. Let's share screen again. Thank you for the fantastic reading. Okay. Yeah, cool. Glad it was fantastic for you. Thank you. Okay, Manessa says her birthday is 12/15/1987. I don't see a birth time or a location. If you have a birth time, I need it. And if you have a location, I definitely need a location. If you don't have a birth time, it's okay, but I can't do the reading without a location. Okay, thank you for the fantastic reading. I love you. Okay, awesome. Let's have it, Miss Manessa. Manessa's question is, I'm wanting to know about my marriage. I was not feeling honored or prioritized, so I left for him to make changes with himself and his family. Okay, 8:30. I'm imagining that's 8:30 a.m. Thank you. So I'm going to put a.m. Please correct if it's p.m. Ooh, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Oh, perfect. It is in there. Okay. Boga, Bosnia. Please confirm AM or PM. All right. Please confirm AM or PM and we can get started. AM. Okay, great. Thank you. All right, Manessa. So you left so that he could make some changes. What I'm missing is what your question is. What is your question, Manessa? Please tell me what your question is. After Manessa, we have Lucy and then Jenny and then Pavi. So Lucy, if you can go ahead and get your question ready and your birth details to paste as soon as I call your name, that would be excellent. I really appreciate it. Lucy, wait till I'm done though. Wait till I'm done with Manessa, please. Don't paste until I finish this reading because there could be a lot of stuff that happens in the chat, okay? Manessa, what is your question? Felt not prioritized. I got it. You left. That's fine. I just need to know what you want to know about the situation. What is going on with our connection? What are his intentions? Should I just give up on this and move on? Interesting. Okay. I don't know what his intentions would be. And I'm assuming this is your chart, Manessa. What I can see for you based on your chart about your marriage at this time, marriage is ruled by the 7th house of committed partnership right here. For this chart, it is a Cancerian house. Cancer is governed by the sign of the moon. Moon has received some significant aspects from Saturn last year. Saturn trined the moon, and that would have tried to bring things into integrity, bring things into alignment, and where they couldn't be in alignment, a little timeout would have been requested by the universe. I'm seeing now Chiron is opposite the moon that we are in discussion about. So healing is being asked for in this relationship, your house of romantic partnership. And so at this time, what I'm seeing is that the jury is a bit out, that the final kind of what this is going to be hasn't really been written. I don't see definitive ending energy here. I see a shakeup. I see a change. I also at this time do not see definitive new beginning energy here. Not yet. The time for right now, what's on the agenda, what's on the schedule, what's on the curriculum right now in the chart that I'm looking at, with Chiron opposing the moon, it's about examining what shadow aspects did I bring to this connection? So I'm not sure whether this is your chart or your person's chart, Manessa, but with Chiron opposite the moon, whomever's chart this is that I'm looking at, the planetary energy for 2022 is inviting this person to take a look within and ask themselves, how did I show up in this connection? What did I contribute to the results I'm experiencing right now? The particular ways I showed up were based on and rooted in some of my own pain. That's Chiron here in the 3rd house. Thank you for confirming it's your chart. What are the things in my mind that, where's my pain in this? And how can I begin to heal that? That's all of 2022. With Saturn moving through the house of self-worth and self-esteem at this time, and during 2022, 2023, 2024, whatever this is telling me, based on what you said and this being your chart, that your self-esteem took a huge hit in this relationship. Huge. If your friends from childhood or high school or early college days saw you now after having left this marriage, they would say, she is not the same person. She used to be so outgoing. She used to be so, bubbly. She used to be so funny. She used to be so optimistic. She used to believe in herself a lot more. And what Saturn through this 2nd house is asking you to do at this point, Manessa, and Chiron opposite your moon at this point, is to actually take your focus off the relationship and to focus on yourself. The transiting planets that are impacting your 7th house the most are planets that are sitting inside houses that have to do with your relationship to yourself. Houses 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all about our relationship to ourselves. And it's the relationship to yourself that is having the biggest impact on the ruler of your 7th house of committed partnership. It's the relationship to yourself that's having the biggest impact on what's going on in this marriage. Now, if I had his chart, Manessa, I could have a look at what he's being asked to learn as well. If you want me to do that, I can. It's probably better if we do it in a private reading where I can sit for a full 30 minutes with both charts and explain things with a bit more clarity and talk to you and understand what's happened here. But what this is telling me, when I look at this all together, shuffling for Manessa and her question, what's going on with her connection? She left the marriage. She wants some guidance about that. 3 cards for guidance for her. What this is telling me, beloved, is that whatever happened that had you leave, it was because it was divinely timed. With Saturn, the restorer of integrity, moving through now your house of self-worth and self-esteem, this had to happen in the way that it happened so that you could come back to the woman that your friends all knew you to be. So you could come back to that self-worth and that self-esteem and that self-value that allows you to be the best version of you. Because there's this whole configuration is telling me that somewhere in this marriage, you got really torn down. You've struggled to believe in yourself now that you're on the opposite side of it. And the cards that came out, the Tower upright, the 3 of Swords reversed, the Lovers reversed, the 7 of Wands upright, supporting energy at the bottom of the deck. This is telling me that ending, this person didn't leave you any choice with that ending, and neither did the universe. Both the way this person was showing up and behaving and the universe witnessing this was like the hand of divine intervention saying, all right, Manessa, you've suffered enough. This is enough. And so when the universe puts its foot down on your suffering in this way, this is the moment in time where it becomes more painful to stay than it is to leave, to let it go. And this is telling me you've hit that point in time. And it came from a place of within. Supporting energy is that 7 of Wands upright in the Light Seer Tarot deck. This 7 of Wands has a woman sitting on a meditation mat and deeply looking within to restore specifically her solar plexus chakra, which this is telling me that it's that solar plexus, that sense of personal power. It's that sense of I am. It's that sense of I, and therefore I can, I deserve, I will be. That part of you has gotten a bit destroyed and needs, the universe has moved you into separation so that that part of you could get restored. And so what happens with this connection next is going to be contingent upon how you deal with this self-restoration process and what your person does with their lessons on their side of things. Now, in a reading where I look at their chart, I would be able to see what the lessons are. But just like you get free will with your lessons, you could take this next 2 years and Netflix and drink and go out with the girls. You could do that and restore nothing in your self-worth and self-esteem. Or you could take this time and really do some work on how did I get here and what do I need in order to never be here again, and how do I rebuild myself? You could do that instead. The choice is yours. The lesson was destined, but whether or not you pass or fail the class is up to your free will. So I say all of that to say, I can't answer where the connection is going to go, but I can say, in order for good things to happen in your relationship house, you do need to honor the lessons that are being brought forward at this time. And these lessons have to do with rebuilding Manessa. Okay. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. I thank you for your patience and for letting me read for you. Please let me know how that resonated for you. Let's see. Oh God, that's so spot on. Wow, so true. I've been really sad. Okay. And it's what this is telling me, Lucy, it's your turn. Lucy, please paste your question. After we do Lucy, we'll do Jenny. Jenny, please get ready. What this is telling me, honestly, is that you've been in a cycle, a period of time where you're welcome, Manessa. You've been in a period of time where what's going on here is, you know, a level of being moved. You're sad now, but the divine intervention came with the major red flag warning sign. You think you're sad now. Had you stayed, you would have paid. It would have been way worse had you stayed. As sad as you are now, you would have been more sad had you stayed. There was not another way for this to go, not at this time. Okay. So try to hang in there. I know that's a very grim kind of message. But there's this kind of vibration to the reading where people who are big, bad, and bold enough to use you have to be willing to pay the price of losing you. And in the world of the way this went down, there was some co-corroboration on your side that allowed yourself to be used, which is how, in fact, you ended up losing yourself in this to begin with. And so this movement out of this, where, you know, your guides, your team, your higher self was like, yeah, no, we ain't doing this anymore. This isn't working. This ending was so that you couldn't lose more than what you yourself could make up for. This was actually a life-saving departure for you. I don't know how bad it was, but what I'm tapping into for you was like there was a point of no return and you were quickly approaching it. Where if you didn't leave now, you weren't going to be able to leave, Manessa. And so I'm sorry it went this way. I'm sorry it's sad. I'm sorry it's so much pain. I saw the heartbreak there in the cards. And simultaneously, this was the best outcome given what you were up against. This was the best way it could have gone. Okay, and I think you kind of suspected that intuitively. Let's see, 1998, 1983. Thank you, Lucy. I appreciate that note. So yeah, 1983. Cool. October 4th, 10/4, 1983, 9 a.m. Very good. Okay, Warsaw, Indiana. Lovely. So yeah, Manessa, you'll have to let me know if all of that added pieces, because a lot of it was channeled there toward the end. You'll have to let me know how that resonates, and how things have been going for you. Okay. All right. So let's see, what light shadow work do I need to be focused on right now? Great question, Lucy. Let's see. What is her light work? What is her shadow work? Show me any kind of work that she needs to be focused on right now. Ooh. So I'm seeing you have a bit of a creativity transit with Jupiter on your axis of manifestation. It's in your house of creativity. It's harmoniously aspecting the sign of your midheaven and the sign that's covering your second house of self-worth and self-esteem. I love to see this with Jupiter in that placement. This is giving me some real vibes of like, wow, like rebirth, time to grow, time to expand, time to be visible, time to put my manifestations out there in the world, time to create. And this is showing me that this year and next year are going to be significant years of career growth, and really becoming more of yourself in the public space in a lot of ways, Lucy. And so I love seeing this for you because with Jupiter in fire energy, this is telling me that rapid positive change, multiple opportunities to grow are going to come quickly. They're going to come frequently. in your world at this time. This is a bit of like a go transit, like a baby, it's go time. And so I love to see that for you. You know, it really does speak to that, you know, you've come through a season where things may have been fallow field for a little while. Now you're in a season of growth. I'm also seeing here that, yeah, Chiron opposite your sun was a tough transit, really brought up a lot of your internal wounding. And you finished that. That's done. Hallelujah. I'm seeing Saturn opposite your Venus as well. And I'm seeing from a timing perspective in your life, there's a lot of maturing that you're doing specifically this year and early next year when it comes to the world of relationships and really cleaning up ways of being in relationship that may have kind of the best way I can put it is there could have been some imbalanced giving and receiving in relationships. And so where giving and receiving has been deeply imbalanced, whether you've given too much or you've not given enough, this period of time is helping you to clean that up and helping you to see, you know, oh, if I want my relationships to go to the next level, whatever next level is for you, next level of happiness, if you're already married, marriage, if you're not, cohabitation, engagement, finding somebody you can even be with for a long period of time, whatever you want in the world of relationship, this period of time is acting as a moment of revelation for you about what it's going to take in order to get there. And specifically, it's maturing you, it's growing you, but because I'm seeing a couple of things in your chart that are letting me know that sometimes you can be a little reserved in the world of relationship. And this is helping you to step outside of your box. Okay. This is helping you to step forward a little bit more, be a bit more bold. Okay, awesome, Manessa. Let me shuffle here for Lucy. Miss Lucy wants to know about her light work. Miss Lucy wants to know about her shadow work. Just what is her work at this time? What is she meant to be focusing on at this time? Let's see. Your spirit guides want to, yeah. So if you want to do a private, Manessa, you can find me over at kmoonastro.com. Kmoonastro.com is where you book that private reading where I can look at your person's chart, your chart, and the chart of the connection. Just look under twin flame readings and you'll find it there. Let's see about Lucy here and her work. Thank you, Kylie. Thank you so much. Kylie, if you have a question, I'm going to read you after Jenny and Pavi. So just let me know. Okay, yeah. Lucy. This is interesting because you have a lot of, the only court cards came out here and the highest of the court cards. Interesting bottom of the deck. Let me open up to this energy and see what's what. Why are all these people here? Are they representing people? Or are they representing aspects of herself? Help me understand how to understand this, for how to communicate this to her. Okay, so in this spread, we have the King of Pentacles upright, King of Swords reversed, Queen of Pentacles reversed. Interesting. Why is the Queen reversed, but the King upright, and then the King of... Oh. She wants to know about her light work though, but that's a very different message. Oh. I agree, Lucy. It is interesting. But the message that's coming through about this is this. In the world, yeah. I had a feeling, Lucy, you're taking the words out of my mouth. So here's what I got. There's been someone in your world who is not your counterpart, who has been perhaps a bit of a distraction. And this could actually be someone that you work with. And dabbling with this person, it does seem to have maybe unfocused your energy a little bit. It's moved you into reversal energy. I'm not getting that King of Swords reversed and King of Pentacles upright are the same person. They came out separately. The King of Swords did not come out as a clarifier for the King of Pentacles, and it did not come out as a clarifier for the Queen of Pentacles either. It came out on its own. So there seems to be some sort of like, there's a person in your world who's showing up like interference energy, distraction energy. And the distractive energy is actually undermining your capacity to do your light work and your shadow work at this point in time. At the bottom of the deck, we have the moon. Damn, girl, who you dealing with? We have the King of Cups underneath that. I don't know what you're doing out there and who these men are, but I see the sharks smell blood, Lucy. I see the sharks smell blood in the water. And so what this is telling me in terms of your focus, especially because the major arcana that came out is the moon, each one of these individuals, and some of them could be best friends, you know, one of them could even be like a brother or, you know, something like that. I'm getting that vibe from some of these people. The moon card is telling me two things. Number one, you need to keep your own counsel a little bit better. I don't know if you've been talking to some of them about the others of them, or one of them about the other one. That's not working for you, is what this is telling me. You're receiving input that is actually undermining your connection in some ways, and not your person, but you personally. It's undermining you. And there's something about these other people's energies that are coming up in a distractive, not able to see the work kind of way. That's having you focus outward from your connection instead of facing toward your connection. Because when the Queen of Pentacles is reversed, and she came out second, so she's on the right of the King of Pentacles in this particular deck. When that Queen of Pentacles is in reverse, which she is now, she's not facing the connection, she's facing away. And so there is something here about needing to kind of return to yourself. If there has been other men in the world of yours that have wanted to share time, attention, energy, even in the just friend space, the coworker space, I'm getting that underneath it for them, it may be just friends for you, but they're not thinking of it always in a just friend way. Sometimes they do, but I'm sensing that other times they're fishing. Is there more here? And this is creating distortions in your connection at this time. And so the work for you, Jenny, is to clean it up. Clean it up, to really examine, okay, well, what am I doing with these people? Moon upright. Why am I actually, you know, here with them? What are they actually giving me? How can I set up the field so that everything's above board, everything's really clear, all intentions are made known, you know, there's no confusion or ambiguity about what we're doing, and therefore no one has to be a secret to anyone else. I don't have to lie about where I'm at or what we were doing or how long we hung out, or I don't have to fudge the truth around any of it. That kind of thing. Okay. So that's what I got for you, Miss Jenny. That was, or Miss Lucy. Jenny, you have to let me know how that resonates, Lucy. But that's what that was looking like. Okay, we've got Jenny, and then we've got Pavi. And if you would like to get on the list, you absolutely can. And then I'm going to do Kylie. Okay. After I do, yeah, the last thing I'm getting for you there, Lucy, is that you may like, again, there's misconceptions going on around you with the men you're dealing with. Yeah. And so for you, it's friendship. I got that part. And for them, it may even be friendship, but I don't know if it looks like that for your twin. And that's what's creating distortions also in the way that he looks at you, your twin looks at you. And for the guys, it may not be friendship. And that energy entering into your connection is creating separative energy between you and your counterpart there. So that's what I got. The work is to clean it up, make everything above board, make sure everyone's clear, intentions are clear, everyone's on the same page, no secrets, no hiding, no guesswork for anyone. Everyone knows where they stand and what's going on. That's the message for you in terms of, quote, the work is to offer, first of all, get clear in yourself. And second of all, then make it clear with the people around you about where traffic is headed. Don't let this be one of those intersections where, the light is out and people have to guess, is it my turn? Is it your turn? Whose turn is it? Don't set yourself up for that. Okay. 3:15 a.m. because that's what my guides were showing me is happening around you, is that it's like the traffic stop, but nobody knows whose turn it is or which way it's going. It's all unclear, and it doesn't have to be that way. All right. It's not romantic, it's other masculine friendships. I think I needed to hear this. Thank you. Resonates. Thank you. Okay, Lucy, I'm really glad to hear that that was a useful message for you. Okay, so Jenny asks, I feel like my whole life is shifting. What could I be focusing on? I feel like my mind is running a mile a minute. Why would that be? Interesting. Lots of mutable energy here. Maybe because Pisces is flooded. Oh, you're coming to your birthday season. Happy birthday, by the way, Jenny. Happy birthday. Upcoming birthday. Why would she feel like that? Jenny, can you tell me how long this has been going on? Where you feel like your whole life is shifting and what you should be focusing on? Like, when did this start? Because I'm not seeing this be a new occurrence for you. I mean, maybe a little, but I'm not seeing it being completely brand new. I'm seeing there was a disturbance in the force, Jenny, at least 2 years ago, since the pandemic. Since January. Interesting. Welcome, Laura. Great to have you. So since January. Okay, so then maybe it is Jupiter in Pisces, but then we had the Venus retrograde in Capricorn. Oh, I see the problem. Okay, just took me a minute for my eyeballs to find it, beloved. When I look, this is why it feels like everything is falling apart, like literally right now. Pluto is retrograding back and forth over your midheaven line, creating a permanent restructuring of the entire structure of your life. And this is why I say since 2020, because Saturn would have crossed over that same point at the tail end of 2020. And so from the tail end of 2020 until now, what's been going on is how do I put it? Oh, yeah, Jenny, you're going to have the sensation with this that there was life before this moment and life after this moment. Now, that can sound a little cliche because we've all just been through what we've been through with the lockdowns, the pandemic, the whole nine, right? But not everybody has went through what you went through with it. For you, this is the permanent closing of the previous chapter of your life. Okay, now I get it. You said you met your twin. Pluto rules your seventh house of committed partnership. This is telling me that who you were, how you be, the way you show up in the world of commitment, the person that you've been aiming to become and to be with when it comes to love and relationship. There was a dream you had or a potential that you saw could be fulfilled prior to this. And there's a potential and a new dream that's going to get born after this. But the closing of your idea of love and life and relationship so that a new idea can open up and be born, that's what's going on here. Okay, Jenny? And what it's telling me, this is telling me that the process isn't over. The process actually continues into next year when Pluto gets all the way into Aquarius. It's in the final degrees now. It's a very slow mover, by the way. And the way my guides are presenting this to me as I'm reading for you, the way they're illuminating this and showing this to me is this is like a person who, those storylines where a person like, I don't know, they thought they were living in the real world and then they wake up and realize they were living in a dream. And now for the first time, they're understanding what the real world is like. That's what this is looking like for me as I'm reading it. There's this energy of like literally waking up. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen the Truman Show where, what's his name? The Jim Carrey character realizes that he's been living a made up version of life, that it's not real. It's been completely prefabricated for somebody else's viewing pleasure. And now he wakes up on the show and he's like, holy cow, you mean this is real life? This is what this is? This is real life? Wow. This is what this looks like to me, is that you're getting this kind of like, holy cow, this is what it is? Holy cow. So let me just come back here and refocus on your question. I feel like my whole life is shifting. What should I be focusing on? My mind is running a mile a minute. Yeah, okay, so what should she be focusing on? Final card, please. What should she be focusing on? Okay. Now, how is this focus, y'all? Help me understand. I'm looking at this spread and I'm like, I don't understand. How is this what she should be focusing on? All right, well, this is a very specific love message for you. Two of Swords upright, Lovers reversed, King of Wands reversed, bottom of the deck, Ace of Swords reversed, below that Sun reversed. Okay, Six of Wands reversed. The way this is reading for me is that there has been a part of you that's really been in resistance to some of the dawning realities about love, about your person, about relationships on the whole. This reading reads to me like the very painful death of a fairy tale. And Pluto is like that. Pluto creates deaths, it creates endings. So I'm not surprised. I'm using the Light Seer Tarot in case you've had the deck or want to Google the cards. Two of Swords upright. This woman is blindfolded, but there are these crows who are kind of holding the blindfold up for her, cawing in her ear. And so she is like wanting it. The way this looks is like she could just drop the whole thing, but then she'd have to really deal with these crows that are trying to like pull her toward an impending reality once she takes that blindfold off. And once the blindfold comes off, what I'm seeing is Lovers reversed, King of Wands reversed, Ace of Swords reversed at the bottom of the deck. There's a level of, unfortunately, just misconception around what you're dealing with your person. In terms of the relationship, the connection, who he is, how he's showing up. This is like awakening into, and I don't want to say nightmare because it's not that. It's just awakening into some real difficult truths that are going to allow you to have access to what love really is and what love truly makes possible. But in order for you to have that, there's like a need to wake up, a need to get rid of the fairy tale. When I see the Lovers reversed in this deck and the King of Wands reversed, this is also telling me that this person that you've been dealing with is facilitating this awakening for you in the ways that he's showing up ill-dignified. When the King of Wands is in reverse, there's manipulative energy at times, there's immature energy at times, there's intermittent energy at times, there's creation without purpose with this energy. It's very much shadow energy, very much shadow energy. It's like this energy of I deserve, so I take in certain ways, without consideration for you. And that behavior, this is pretty much telling me that this had to go this way in order to facilitate your awakening. Now, it's not to say this isn't your twin or this isn't a twin connection or all of this kind of stuff. It's almost like I'm seeing his higher self, his soul, participate in your awakening by showing up in this ill-dignified way to force you into some truth that has been hard to face. This is really saying that his behaviors are serving a purpose. And the purpose is to facilitate your awakening. And within this, there's a level of him believing you can do it. But the question that's here is, how much pain do you need to suffer before you drop the blindfold? Like, how much of his ill-dignified energy can you stomach before you get into that place of like, okay, I got it. Like, this isn't love. This is something else. Like, and if it was love, and that's the thing that I'm seeing here as I was looking at that spread. Pavi, it's your turn. Please paste your question. This is really telling me that you're learning what love is by having to experience what love is not. That's what this looks like to me. And it's been a slow, painful set of experiences and realizations that are facilitating this for you. And this person is being a willing participant in that play to help assist your lessons. Okay. So that's what I got, luminary guidance. Frankly, I'm really sorry that seeing what I'm seeing, Your mind is going a mile a minute. Pavi, it's your turn. Please paste your question. Seeing what I was seeing and seeing it manifest that way and hearing you say my mind's running a mile a minute, what this is talking about is the necessity of like starting to pay attention to the evidence that's right in front of you, the information that is right there. Like those birds are calling very loudly. Even though you can't see the birds, the fact that you can hear them lets you know, no, there's birds here. You don't need to smell pizza in the room to know that somebody bought a pizza in this house. You know what I'm saying? That's what this is like kind of looking like, is that there's some evidence that's in front of you that's been difficult to digest. And out of a desire to maintain a beautiful vision, a compassionate vision, there's been actually just frankly a little bit of self-deception. And so it's this moment in time where your mind is racing. It's your mind trying to get you to put the pieces together. Okay. It's that like moment in the movie where like you see all these like flashbacks that a person goes through, where they finally have the dawning awareness that, oh my God, the killer is my next door neighbor. It's like that kind of energy where they all these flashbacks where the pieces start to finally come together and the truth dawns on them. The truth that you can't come back from. Once you know it, you can't go back to living a lie. So it looks like you're in the middle of that process now. So, my encouragement is just, really be gentle with yourself as you're working that process, because it looks really uncomfortable, but also, drop your shoulders, take some deep breaths, and just give yourself permission to sit with the question. What is the uncomfortable truth here? What is the vulnerable truth that I wish wasn't true, that I can't not see anymore? Sit with that question. Your subconscious will bring it to you, and you'll have the opportunity to really get into the growth and the transformation that love is trying to bring into your life. Because I see that there's going to be a you after this that's just capable of love at a higher level. Whatever it is you're going through now, you will not ever go through this again, because it's a Plutonian transit, permanent end. Whatever the pain is with this, never again. But this part has to happen in order to make sure that you don't ever go back. So hopefully that helps a little bit, luminary guidance. I hope it gives you a little validation for your intuition and what you're experiencing and what you're seeing. And just know that you're on the path of love, you're ascending in it, but the illusions have to die first. And that's what's happening. And that's what's causing the racing thoughts. All right, Pavi says, I've been doing some internal work with regards to me and my twin flame journey. Now I feel there is a new cycle that's starting. Yay, new cycles. Right on. Oops. Okay. Let's see. Thank you. Resonated 100%. Okay. Thanks, luminary guidance. I'm glad to hear it. Please help me understand what energies I should be expecting or ready for. Thank you. All right. So new cycle. Let's see about it. What's what with the new cycle in your twin experience? Let's see how your natal chart is set up real quick. Lots of air, lots of cardinal. Okay, this is telling me a bit of almost, not quite. almost in the new cycle, not quite. There's still a bit of closure in the last cycle that you're currently experiencing, and you'll know you're done. Looks like it, I hate to say it, looks like it's maybe about a year and a half of an overlap, close, and beginning. That begins next year. This year is final close. Next year is overlap, close in the beginning. And then the year after that is going to be just beginning, no close. So when I say close, what I'm seeing here is a few different things. I'm seeing there's still some work left to do, some unearthing left to do in the world of the subconscious mind. There's some things that are trying to come to the surface for you to get you into congruence about the way your subconscious mind plays a role for you in love and connection. There are some patterning, some templates in there where if we're running too quickly into the new beginning, we just rinse and repeat those patterns, okay? Now, the other thing that lets me know we're not quite there yet is you'll know you're there when Jupiter really gets more fully into your second house. There's definitely some new vibes within you, but until it really lands in that second house, valuing that new you might be a bit tricky. And the eclipse cycle is happening on top of your Pluto, which governs your power. And in the 8th house, this talks about your capacity for transformation, growth, and change. Are you in a change cycle now? Yes. You're literally sitting in the middle of the cocoon. The caterpillar is no mas, the butterfly is not here yet. You're just sitting there in the middle waiting for the imaginal cells to start to, coagulate into the shapes that they want to make to create your beautiful butterfly. But in order for that to happen, what this is telling me is, yes, new beginning energy is here, it's dawning, but there's a little bit more to go of the closing energy, right? And so as Jupiter, being the ruler of your midheaven, has popped out here in Aries, it doesn't really get into that 10th house of the manifestation of the full potential of the 9th house. It does not get there until well into next year. But when it gets there, that's when you're going to know, oh, okay, I'm done changing. I am reaching the potential. I'm manifesting it. I'm working this. I know what I need to do. It is all systems go. And so for right now, when I'm looking at this for, okay, what do you need to know? What are you working on, etc.? I've got Saturn in trine to your moon, and this is correcting some of the emotions and needs that you have in the world of relationship. Frankly, in this position with all this stellium mirror stuff now, it's correcting codependency is what this is telling me, and fostering more of a sense of integrating heart and mind, not just operating from the place of heart. And this is a good thing. This is going to be a process to transform those neural networks that facilitate codependent responses from time to time with other people. And this is really allowing you to move into the process of true trust, true faith, true allowance in the world of relationship where, we are not working on anything until you're clear about who you are and what you want to bring to the table, counterpart, and I'm clear about who I am and who I want to bring to the table, Pavi. Instead of two people working in halves or at 75%, this is telling me that you're moving through a process of two people who are beginning the work or in the middle of the work of two people working at 100%, coming to the table, both cups full, okay? So it's a beautiful energy. Next year, you're really gonna see some of the benefit of this energy, but it looks like you're mid-change right now. Yes, you're in a new cycle, but the cycle that you're in is the cycle of transformation. It's the cycle of growth. It's the cycle of decomposing as the caterpillar, turning into imaginal cells, and then recomposing, restructuring as the butterfly. It's an alchemical process that you're in right now. That's the new cycle that I'm seeing there. Miss Kylie, if you have a question, beloved, I'd love to have you go ahead and place it in the chat. You've been such a wonderful moderator today. Thank you. You guys, for those of you who are here and you've been hanging out and you've seen Kylie do her thing, throw some emojis out here for her. Share some love if you're able to. Obviously, don't take your hands off the steering wheel if you're listening while driving. But Kylie, I can't thank you enough. You've been a godsend today. Thank you. Thank you so much for all of your support. Integrating heart and mind and not operating from heart 100% resonated. Good. Yeah. It's going to take a little while to lay down some new patterns, some new neural networks around that to respond to some things a little bit differently, but that's okay. It's all right. You've got time. You've got next year for this and the rest of this year. You're doing great. You're on track. But that's what the new cycle is it's changing out of that old behavior. The new behavior hasn't come yet, but the new cycle is the change cycle. Okay. Oh, yes. I'm glad you took a bow, Kylie. Thank you. Thank you, Kay. I needed to hear this. You're welcome, Pallavi. You're so welcome. And if anyone just joined, you are welcome to jump in with your questions. You're welcome to the way that you get on the list. If you'd like to get on the list is to make a payment. I just pasted the payment info there in the chat for you. Let me actually place it a different way. You'd like to get on the list, I can read for you. I'm going to read for Kylie. And then if you decide to make a payment now, it would in fact be your turn right after I read for Kylie. So there's no wait. And what we also have going on here, what was I going to say? I don't know what I was going to say. I'm just talking to talk. Let me be quiet and get some water. Kylie, I'm going to grab some water. As soon as I come back, I'll do your reading. Thank you so much for your patience, everyone. And if anyone wants to jump on the list, it is open. Okay, I am back. Thank you so much for your patience. Needed to do a little bit of water break, restroom break. Let's get into it with Miss Kylie. It's great to see you, Pavi. Let's see here. What is Kylie's question? Well, I needed to move. I can't move because of work. And I'm about to go to work at the club if things don't change. Oh, Kylie, have you worked at the club before? Not a bad thing. Just curious if it would be a first time or a return. Waiting for the moving energy again. Hopefully, it is positive. All right, let's take a look and see what's what. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, let's share screen. Okay, 3/26, 1996, 2:15 a.m. There we go. Cool, cool. Thank you so much. Let's have a look-see here. All right. All right, Miss Kylie. So Kylie needs to relocate. You can't relocate. You need to move, can't move because of work. And I'm about to, you said return. LOL, no, but I visited. Okay. Had to make sure it was legit for me. I'm going next week if it don't work out. Just saying. I understand. Okay. Back is against the wall. You know, I vaguely remember a circumstance like this when Uranus crossed over the bottom of my chart in this way. I remember being terrified that I'd be homeless because I think I'd lost a job kind of abruptly and unexpectedly, and the company closed. I'd lost a job, and I specifically remember crying in my closet because I thought for sure I was going to be homeless. Because when Uranus crosses over the descendant line in this way, there is indeed a necessary shakeup that occurs in your fourth house of home. And that shakeup has a lot to do with getting into a position of kind of like being divinely guided, from like the roots to the tips of the trees, from the roots to the fruit, so to speak. Um, Gosh, this is hard. I mean, I see it here. Uranus is also about to hit your Venus. Venus is the ruler of this house. I see for you, you want nothing more than to just be stable. Like this is, if you could have it all your way, your number one wish on planet Earth would be like, let me just have a comfortable home. That's it. That's all I want. I just want to have a comfortable home that I don't ever have to move from. I can see that's kind of like a really huge dream for you. And it can be hard to feel like there's anything you can do until that's happened. So, what I want to say, what got me through this period of time for me personally, I had a very flexible landlady at the time, and I would have to take breaks from living there because financially things were just so unpredictable. There would be these pockets of time where I would have to go live with my parents for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 weeks. And when I was away, I'd sublet on the rent and I get somebody else to take my spot in my place. Now, I don't know if you can sublet, Kylie. You may not be able to, but I'd sublet so that I could have somebody live in the space while I was just couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford the full month's rent. And then from there, I would go stay, where I needed to stay for a couple weeks. Once or twice I stayed with friends. They were very helpful at that period of time. And they would let me stay here or there for a month or a couple of weeks as I needed to. But I get why you're feeling like, holy shit, it's about to go down in my life because I cannot keep anything stable. Considering a leave, but home sucks too. It's rough over here. I got you. I got you. What I am seeing, Kylie, where's her son at? Okay. I'm trying, what I don't really understand, Kylie, because I'm looking at your chart, I just need you to illuminate it for me. Are you wanting to leave or depart where you're at specifically because the people that you're living with are problematic, or because financially you just can't afford to be there? Because I'm looking at your chart and this is telling me that financially you have more resource than what you think you do to be able to maintain living where you're living. You may not be able to find that resource, and that in and of itself could be a problem, right? You may not be able to, you may not know where it's sitting at. And I don't know that it's in the club per se, maybe elsewhere, but we can chat about that separately if we need to, if you want some support around that. But if it's money that has you going, I see that there's options for it to exist in ways that you didn't anticipate. And we just may need to brainstorm together around that. But if it's not money, what I'm actually seeing is that it could just be, just certain people being problematic. That could be a part of this as well. Some of the people you live with, just they're unstable. So that maybe they're not paying their rent. You can't cover their rent. And so now you have to move, right? Something like that could be happening. But you mentioned going to the club. So it could be the thing about that, be the money. What I'm seeing is that you're clearing out some karmic stuff from a past life, woundedness, Chiron over your self node that has you feeling like you can't trust or believe in yourself to figure this out. That's a big part of this. I'm also seeing, gosh, Kylie, you move that out of the way. Yeah, that your home life is, as Uranus moves in these degrees right as it gets into this house are the most precarious. This segment of time that basically is the remainder of this year, considering, okay, it's the people, but I'm getting charged rent, which the people I live with is causing issues, family problems. Got it. Okay. Yeah. These first few degrees are the most precarious, but I'm telling you, this is the thing you have to remember with Uranus in this placement. Uranus is the original divine counterpart. And even though Uranus brings change and shakeups and challenges, as kind of the divine awakener, two things are true. It is meant to help you grow in your divinity, faith, and trust. And the second thing that's true is that Uranus has really got your back through this change. Uranus is not going to drop you in the middle of a homeless shelter or living in your car. I would say that's a very different kind of transit that has several different preceding kinds of transits than the one I'm seeing you go through right now. So I see that people are problematic and unstable. I think that some things are going to settle down for them as we get out of this eclipse season. I think you're going to find that you're going to be okay through the summer. One of the things that I'd recommend, if as the responsible party, Kylie, you may want to figure out how to speak to the landlord about what's going on. If these people aren't paying their rent, hey, yin to the yang, welcome. If they're not being responsible about paying their part of the rent, you may want to speak to the landlord about what's going on. The homelessness has been borderline. Yeah, it can feel very real with a Uranus transit to the fourth house, but it wouldn't be. It can feel like very precarious, but it's not. And so, I say that to remind you that you do have a lot of universal support at this time, but there is a bit of like really big upping your self-worth and self-esteem as you move through this that's going to be required in order for you to find your way to stability. Stability is here, it's havable, it's just unpredictable. It's my family, I live with family. Okay, got it. But you pay rent to your family. Okay. 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 Them charging you rent is what's causing the issues. And so you might have to leave there because they're charging you rent. I think I'm following now, Kylie. It's clear. I think I got it, but let me know if I misunderstood. But if I were you, I would hang tough if you can. It's going to feel a little precarious. But some of this is really meant to bring you into empowerment more than anything else, beloved. It's meant to bring you into empowerment. Yeah. And I think you have more negotiating power with some of this than you think you do, based on what I'm seeing here in your chart. But email me and we can maybe set some time up to talk offline about this, because I feel like I need to understand the situation better. I feel like based with this Neptune placement here, there could be a little bit of maybe Neptune square your moon. Emotions could be involved in a way for you, Kylie, that may not be supporting you to see things as clearly as they are. Yes, Diva G, the list is open, and Yin to the Yang list is open. If you would like to get a reading, this is how you do it. I'm gonna paste it in the chat for you. And I'm just down to support you with this if you need some help. Thank you for being like the awesomest moderator ever. I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, if you want to make some time to chat about it, let's do it. I'm happy to do that for you. Just in exchange for your moderation services. God, girl, you're a gem. Today was like, if I didn't have you today, I probably would have lost a lot of money. So please, like, email me to work about compensation, but cooperate, totally. Just email me and let me know when you're free, Kylie, and we can kind of dig more deeply into this and we can see if there's a way I can support you. All right. You're welcome, sweetheart. Once again, thank you for being such an awesome sauce moderator today. I really appreciate the way you've been on it. Okay, so Diva G has mentioned she'd like to get on the list. After Diva G, we have, if Diva G wants to jump on the list, she can, and Yin to the Yang can. Let me just double check and see where my payment apps are at. My payment app. Oh, let me log in. Okay. All right, let me just see. Okay, so Pallavi was last there. And thank you so much. You're welcome, Kylie. You're welcome. So I'm going to give this a couple minutes. If Diva wants to go ahead and make a payment, she can. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and move. We're going to go ahead and close the live stream out for today because we've been here for a little while. Thank you guys for hanging out. For those of you who are still here, I thank you. My blessings to you, my love to you. I'm hoping that this Mercury retrograde and eclipse season has given you I'm hoping that it's giving you the growth that you need in the gentlest way possible to still facilitate the changes that you need. So no more, not a iota harsher than it needs to be. I hope it's been full of sweetness, even in the bitter. We'll give this a couple minutes, and if our girls don't have anything to say, then okay, Diva just made her payment, so we'll wait for Diva to paste her question. Thanks, Diva. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So the list is open. Thank you so much, Diva. I'm going to read for you next. And then we will wrap up unless anyone else wants to jump on the list. Is this a normal birth chart info question? I'm not sure what you mean. If you're about to paste a question and ask me if it's a normal question, or if what you're doing is just asking like, should I just ask a birth chart question? You can ask a birth chart question. That's fine. Let me see your birth chart data so I can start putting that together while you formulate your question, while you type out your question. Okay, thank you, Diva. I will facilitate your chart now. Let's share screen. I know Fiji sounds like a lot of fun right now, doesn't it? Sounds way better than what we have going on. Okay, so Fiji, Lautaka, 9/17/1987, 10:28 p.m. Okay, cool. So whenever you're ready, Diva, give me your question and then I'll read your chart for you, okay? Okay, I am so stressed with work and studies. Making money, but can't seem to hold on to it. Okay. Any indication as to why I can't keep the money? Yes. Lots of indications about why you can't keep it. Where is natal Mercury? Okay, there. Some of what's going on is you're healing some of your financial consciousness, your money consciousness with Chiron here in Aries, opposing your natal Mercury, which is consciousness, mind. Mercury is the ruler of your second house of financial earned income. Chiron opposing it, the part of why you're not keeping it is because Chiron is at this time surfacing for you certain limiting beliefs that you have about money and income, like money's hard to get. Money doesn't grow on trees. Everybody wants something for free. No one would ever pay me that. Those kinds of things. No one in my field makes that kind of money, so therefore I can't or I shouldn't either. No one in my family makes that kind of money, therefore I can't and I shouldn't either. Chiron is surfacing these things for you so that you can actually bring them into your conscious awareness and heal them. The world of our financial well-being is a direct reflection of what we actually believe about money and what we believe about ourselves when it comes to money. And so one of the things that's happening right now, because I see with this particular transit, I'm getting that you've already thought about abundance. You know you want it. You've conjured it up. You've tried to manifest around it. You've got ideas that could bring abundance. But what's going on right at this time is a house cleaning around all the limiting beliefs that you have that are antithetical to you having money, Diva. All the limiting beliefs about who you can be, what you can earn, how much you can make, why you can make it. All of that is absolutely what's surfacing now so that you can see that for what it is. Beliefs that can be changed, beliefs that have limitations that put a ceiling on what you can make. The other challenge I'm seeing here for you when it comes to money, just in your natal chart alone, so this is a time of healing, but in your natal chart, what I'm seeing for you is with Moon here in the second house, your money is closely related to your emotions, and your emotions are closely related to how much you make. There's an enmeshment here, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of people will tell you, keep your emotions out of your money, but you're not really built to be able to do that. Instead, what you're going to have to do in this lifetime is use your emotions to accumulate your money. That's what's going to need to happen here. You're going to have to be able to conjure up emotional states of abundance, conjure up emotional states and feelings of havingness, because the more you feel down about yourself, the less money you're actually going to make. And this is going to be especially true if you're an entrepreneur, gig economy worker, freelancer. The less you feel good, there's a direct correlation with Cancer, which represents emotions, Moon in its home sign, sitting in the house of your earned income. Your money and your emotions will always be tied up together. So the only way to work this is to get control over your emotions, to get control over both your earning and your spending potential. With Chiron also in this house in this lifetime, one of the challenges that you're going to be up against is facing your own worthiness, because with this particular placement and configuration, you more than most people will struggle with feeling like you can't ask for that raise. You're not good enough. You're not worthy enough. But again, this transit that's happening right now with Chiron opposite that Mercury is working overtime to help you be able to see your limiting beliefs about money so that you can change them. So what I'm going to ask you to do, Diva, when we're done here today, let's just do this right now. Let's do this right now. We're going to do this together, Diva. Because it's hard. It's hard to see it when you're in it, right? And especially if you don't have community around it to help you clear it. to help you see it and clear it and build some new behavioral patterns and beliefs. Let's just see. It was a little slow. I'm going to Google limiting beliefs about money. It's your money consciousness that's getting in your way. So what I need you to do is start to look at some of these blogs that will help you surface this. There isn't enough money to go around. I don't deserve. Having money is selfish. Wanting more is greedy. You need money to make money. You have to hold your money close. Having more money means I'll have more problems. There are a lot of limiting distortions around money that everyone has. Most of it comes from family and the way we grew up, because that's where we first learned about money in the first place. We just adopt the beliefs we were brought into, but not all of them are true. And so you're going through a period of time of self-discernment. Which beliefs do you want to keep? Which ones do you want to let go of? And so you can look on the internet. This particular blog site is called Money for the Mamas. This particular blog on that site is Conquer Your Money Demons by Dumping Your Limiting Beliefs About Money. Here's the 6 simple steps for rewriting your money blocks and finally winning with money. There was a period of time when I studied with a woman who had trained under Kendall Summerhawk to get, because I had my own money limitations, limiting beliefs. Kendall has a whole series of stuff that she does in the world of money and getting a hold of your money story. So Kendall Summerhawk is great. You can kind of take a look at what she has to say about money. Her money coaching program would really help you. I also really like the work of Barbara Stanny. Here in the States, we have a business called H&R Block. It's famous for helping people file their taxes. Barbara Stanny's father was the R in H&R Block, but Barbara had ended up marrying a man who was a compulsive gambler, and he had lost all of their money multiple times. The final time Barbara decided to divorce him, she went to the ATM, and the ATM machine wouldn't give her any money. She didn't realize her husband had gambled all their money away. And so she turned to her father, who's this, nationwide famous businessman for having started this company that helps everyone deal with their taxes. She turned to her father and she said, "Can you please just help me out this one last time? I've got nothing. I've got kids and I have to escape this marriage." And her father said, "No, I won't help you." And so through the process of working through her own financial limiting beliefs about men and money and being taken care of, that was her stuff. She actually came to a place of being able to become financially abundant on her own. And now she helps women around the world do the same thing. Okay. And so here are her books. The first book I read of hers was Overcoming Under Earning. The second book I read was Secrets of Six-Figure Women. Her first book was Prince Charming Isn't Coming, because again, it was addressing her limiting belief around, that she needed to have a wealthy man to take care of her. And her final book, her most recent book, Sacred Success, has been about connecting your purpose with your financial well-being. I would certainly check out Overcoming Under Earning as a starting place. It's a beautiful book that really helps you get to clarity about where those limiting beliefs are at in your world so that you can get to a place of overcoming them because you can see them. You can't overcome a limitation or a blockage that you can't even name. And that's going to be the most important piece of this for you. And climbing out of this is being able to harness the power of your emotions to serve you instead of undermine you by getting in control of the thinking that's creating the feelings you have about money in the first place and about yourself when it comes to money. Okay. The more you can do that, build up your self-esteem, build up yourself as an earner, understand the limiting beliefs, separate your family's beliefs about money from the beliefs you want to hold about money. The more you can do that, the easier it's going to be for you to turn this around. Once I really made myself a dedicated student of the way money works and flows in the world of business, I think it took me about 5 or 6 years to get to a place where I could be financially sustainable and comfortable. I certainly had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of twists and turns in the journey. And it took me another 7 or 8 years to get to a place of not just being abundant, but to be secure. And there's a difference between being able to generate money and having the trust that you will always be financially okay. It takes time, but you can do it. These are just two of the teachers I started with, but there's so many more on the internet. You can start Googling things like money blocks, money limitations, manifestation, how to rewire your financial thinking. And there's all kinds of books all over the internet about it as well. But the biggest issue for you with your financial house is your mind. And you have to get control of your mind first in order to get control of your money. All right, Diva, I hope that was illuminating for you, gave you some resources and where to start. Thank you, Kay. This really made me feel better. I'm happy. I don't want you to just feel better. I want you to get into a place where financially you're doing better. So definitely check out the resources that I've provided so that you can get to a different relationship to money. What I want to say next is, let me just see. I don't back. Okay. Diva was the last payment for today. Hey, Cat Bond, great to see you. I think we're going to go ahead and close out unless anyone else going once, going twice, going 3 times says they would like to get a reading. We're going to go ahead and close out. I would love to read for you if you're guided to have a reading today, but I totally understand if you're just like, just getting the guidance and listening to other people was great. The list is open. Otherwise, we're going to close. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Kylie, for being such an amazing moderator. I'm looking forward to receiving your email. Hey ho, Glitterati, welcome. I hope you're doing well. I was just about to close out. Yes, you can. If you want to go ahead and get a reading, you need to make your payment now. I'll read for Hope Glitterati and Cat Bond, and unless anyone else comes on, we will close out. Okay. All right. I'm waiting, Kylie. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. You would do another one. Okay. All right. If you guys want to go ahead and make your payment, that would be fine. I'll let them come through and I'll read you both in the order that the payments come through. Okay. Got you, Hope Glitterati. So we'll do Hope Glitterati first. And then I see Cat came in right after that. All right, Hope Glitterati. Let's go ahead and have it for Hope Glitterati, and then we will Then we will read for Cat Bond. You did get in under the wire, Hope Glitterati. You definitely did. Oh, you did? How was it today, Hope Glitterati? I can't wait to hear the recording. I'm sure it was amazing. I can't wait to re-listen to the recording. Okay, let's see. You know who's here a lot? Well, Glitterati, I just realized you and Vibe and Shine have the same birthday, just about, I think. Definitely meant to have it in. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to listen. I know it's going to be so good. I can't wait to listen. Okay. All righty. What's your question, Hope Glitterati? What do you see coming up for me over the summer? Like, what is going to move me forward the most? Okay, interesting. A little broad, but I trust that you're okay with a general answer. My son will be with me all summer long, so I'm really excited about that and focusing on business. Okay. You know, it's good to hear that because the way Jupiter has just entered the sign that governs your 10th house of career, Jupiter bringing the expander of opportunities, I see that you are going to be invited into really saying yes and taking advantage of certain opportunities in the world of work. These opportunities are going to facilitate some new beginnings for you, some greater visibility for you, and some chances for you to make some more money. Now, the real money doesn't come in until next year when Jupiter gets into fully into Aries past that 9th degree and then harmoniously aspects that second house and sits on top of the ruler of that second house of earned income. Oh, Glitterati, that's money, 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 a lot of money. And so the way to really work with this at this time, I see you're moving through a significant healing process with Uranus on top of your Chiron. The way to work with this is to not push right now, to not push too much, to not over push. I see when you're not working, Hope Glitterati, there's a real potential for you to be in a lot of soul ache, not just heart ache, but soul ache around some lessons at the moment. And there may be some moments where sometimes the sadness will come from places, it'll come and you won't even know what it's about, is what this looks like to me. The sadness will arrive and you won't even know why you're sad. You'll be channeling some of it, grieving things left behind from previous lifetimes. And so I'm seeing you kind of clear some really important lessons as the North Node, Uranus, and Mars conjunct on top of this natal Chiron, and it gives you the opportunity to lay to rest some of that core wounding around friends, core wounding maybe around bullying, being picked on or teased as a kid, some of that core wounding around other people get to have what they want, but I don't. I see there's probably a significant amount of that in your childhood that came through from your childhood. And there's also some bits of that have, it's come through around like just being a woman. I see there's some wounding around, damn, I wish I was born a boy, because then some things could have gone very differently for me. And so as I'm reviewing this, there's a real healing coming in for the parts of you that have a lot of pain because things hadn't worked out the way you needed them to prior to now. You're going to be shedding some of that pain, even if you had the kind of family that you kind of get reminded on a regular basis that, you know, we didn't need another girl. We were hoping for a boy. You could have a family that was like that. And you're just going to find your way through this to forgive them, find compassion, have healing around being incarnated into a feminine body in this lifetime. Looks like there's going to be some healing around self-worth, self-esteem, self-value, and being able to cherish yourself in the way that you always dreamt and knew you could. But it's going to take some purging over the course of the summer. But on the other side of this is some new beginning energy that's really going to make it possible now that that purging is out of the way. Once we get into next year, the eclipses in Aries and Libra are going to make it possible for you to have a brand spanking new beginning in the world of career, higher heights. This process is essentially taking the ceiling off of your personal limitations. It's removing your own glass ceiling. Let me go ahead and pull some cards for you. Yes, yes, and yes. Yeah, I didn't tell you that. I haven't communicated with Twin the past month. I understand there's been a lot of silence for a lot of people. Hope Glitterati says, I was not supposed to happen, and I have shame from that. Got it. Yeah. That makes sense, Hope Glitterati. So what can she focus on over the summer? She wants to know what she can focus on the summer to move herself forward. It's like way too many cards. That's good. There we go. One card. Oh, I like this. Okay, so this is letting me know that you've been in it. Okay, let me tell you what the cards are. 2 of Wands upright, 3 of Swords upright, 21, the World upright, closing out a cycle. Ooh, bottom of the deck, 3 of Pentacles reversed. Oh, I love it. This is so good, Hope Glitterati. Okay, so with the 3 of Pentacles reversed, the cycle that's closing out right now with the World upright and the 3 of Pentacles reversed, really holding, like underpinning the process, there's actually really nothing you need to do. None of these are doing cards, not one of them. And the only doing card is the supporting card, 3 of Pentacles. That's where 3 people are working together to complete a project. It's a working kind of energy. This is telling me there's no work for you to do. This is a let it happen energy. This 2 of Wands in the Light Seers Tarot has this woman looking wistfully out of a window with a globe next to her and a picture of like a camper van and a surfboard, thinking about all the places she could go. Right smack in the middle is this 3 of Swords, you know, places she would go if she weren't trapped inside. And the World card. Now, this is really fascinating, Hope Glitterati. I don't know if you have been contemplating some travel here, but this is telling me that there is some travel in store for you. It's also interesting. The Light Seer Tarot has men and women in it throughout the deck, but all 3 of these cards that are upright are females, female presenting bodies here. And so this is really talking about finding the way to cherish and appreciate being born into that this feminine form in this lifetime, to not throw yourself away like garbage because you weren't necessarily wanted. You know, Hope Glitterati, what's interesting about this, as I'm reading this for you, I'm reminded that my parents once told me that I came too soon, that they wanted to be in a very different place by the time they had me, and that it was like 2 years too early for them. And that in having me, they had also considered not having me. Once my mom got pregnant, it was a consideration. Even though they were married, it just wasn't time. For so many reasons. And I think often about what my life could have been like if I had parents who had more ready, who had been more ready than what they were. I think about maybe if they had been more ready, they could have been different kind of parents, this and that. And so for a long time, I had a lot of heartache and heartbreak, very similar to what I'm seeing here for you, similar to what you're describing around being born at all. I felt like maybe I wasn't chosen, maybe I was an accident. And I remember talking to one of my friends about this and explaining this to them and feeling like my whole life was a bit of an accident. That I'm always a little too early for certain important connections in my life, and no one's ever ready when I show up. But the thing that my friend reminded me of is he looked at me and he told me, he was like, I don't hear the story of someone not being chosen in that. I'm standing in front of the woman whose parents actually chose to have her when faced with the choice of not having her or having her. I'm standing in front of the woman who was chosen. And I was like, damn, I guess I can't carry this story around anymore. That I was an accident, that I wasn't chosen. My parents did choose me. And so there is a bit of that level of healing going on for you, where there's the letting go of a painful story so that you can begin a new cycle with the World card completing this read for you. There is this writing a new song for yourself with the Two of Wands upright and looking at what could be possible for yourself if perhaps you let go of this heartbreak, face it and release it. And it's not even something you have to do, Hope Glitterati. Again, Three of Pentacles reverse is what's underpinning and supporting this reading. Three of Pentacles reverse tells me there is nothing to do. Let the grieving happen. Let the learning happen. Let the visualization of the fact that, yeah, you are chosen. You are supposed to be here. You know, that this is the right place, the right timeline, and the right incarnation for you. This right here is telling me that you're closing out that painful story around what it means to be a woman, and therefore I can't, and I was an accident, and so therefore there's no real place for me. I should make myself a little small. No, no, Hope Glitterati. You came at the right time. You were exactly what was needed. Your parents may have been some accidental parents, but I'm telling you right now, you were not an accidental child. Everything about your arrival was 100% intentional. Everything about it. You were meant to be here. And this transit is helping you take your place at the tables of life. Okay? And that's all there is to do, is to just follow your intuition into taking your place at the table of life. That visionariness of the Two of Wands upright is talking about, as you start to work toward the things that you really want to experience and create here, 11th house, hopes, wishes, and dreams, as you walk towards those things, it abolishes the shackles of the limiting story that I'm an accident and therefore don't belong. Okay. It's opening up that you actually are here in exactly the way you were meant to be. Okay, Kat, it is your turn. Nope, no Queen of Water. It's not. I'm going to read for Kat, and then if you decide to pay, then it'll be your turn. Okay, Queen of Water. Trailblazers. Yes, Hope Glitterati. Exactly. I'm glad this gave you a sense of peace. Yeah, I was out of tradition, then a preemie, then health issues. Yeah. Your soul fought to be here. There was no accident in your incarnation. And there's this transit looks to be about a healing around a lot of that. Yes, and those cheers to twin when I achieve, even though he's not standing physically next to me. Yes, I love those cheers to twin. That's awesome. Those are really cheers to you. Really, truly. My friends are here. Oh, that's exactly what I needed to hear today. Good, Hope. Good. I'm glad I could provide that for you. Just let the process unfold. It's already happening. You don't need to do anything different in order to be able to move forward. Just keep doing the things that you want to around your dreams, because every step you take around that, it naturally dissolves. It dissolves the shackles around I'm not supposed to be here. All right, Queen of Water, I've got your payment. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you, Cat. Or Hope Glitterati. Now we're going to do Cat, then we're going to do Queen of Water. All right, Cat, thank you so much for your patience. Let's do this, girl. Let me share the screen with you. Okay. Kat says, let me come back. Here we go. Okay. Taiwan. And Kat is at Taipei. And her birthday is the 24th. Happy birthday once again. 1986, 10:55 p.m. All right. Let's see what's what, Kat. You mentioned Scorpio in 10th house is deconstruction versus destruction, since I am essentially starting my work location section from scratch. Very cool. The ground up. How do I channel the eclipse energy with the intention, hold on, of creating a solid yet flexible foundation, one that can incorporate new things successfully without throwing off the balance? Okay. Visual, instead of a steel four-sided building, crafting a container with curves instead of edges, like a thrown ceramic piece. That's a beautiful visual. You can make clay into any shape, and if well done, can be structurally sound. I love it. That's so nice. Okay, very cool. Great question. Get the timer. Okay, so some of this, Cat, is going to be outside of your control, is what I'm seeing. Eclipses bring influences and energy from the outside that force us to transform and shift on the inside. So a good example was your question 1 from today. You can't control what Colleen's doing and what's going on in Colleen's life and how that's going to impact you. But does it force you to shift and change? Absolutely, it does. And so the second series of eclipses that are coming at the tail end of the year, October and November, are going to facilitate more new things that you couldn't see coming that will facilitate that change. And so you already in your natal chart, you have a lot of mutable energy. Mutable energy is the energy of flexibility in the first place. You are a flexible person naturally, which is part of why I think things worked for as long as they did with Colleen to begin with, and still have the potential to work in the future, because you naturally, you don't approach things from a rigid place of this or nothing. You don't have that all or nothing lens, because all or nothingness can really throw you into cutting yourself off at the knees. And I don't see you doing that. But what this eclipse cycle is doing is it's restructuring your outer world to guide you along the path of into an outer world incarnation that's going to be more deeply aligned. So when I look back at your question here, Let me scroll up. The question. Starting my work location sector from scratch. How do I channel the eclipse energy with the intention of creating solid, flexible foundation? You don't need to worry too much about this. The only thing I would say that's going to help you move through this energy, because the energy is going to come, it's going to shift things. You don't have to do anything to have that happen. You're already a flexible person. You don't have to work to become more flexible. The only thing I could say based on what I'm seeing here that will really serve and support you through this is to lean into your north node and lean away from that south node. When I see south node Libra, and then I see north node Aries, what this is telling me is that you are the type of person who has the ability naturally baked in south node Libra to be a phenomenal partner to other people. You were gifted with that. You came in with it as your strong muscle. The muscle that's here to be developed in this lifetime is that Aries North node, that energy of self-reliance, cultivating, not leaving space open for other people, but instead closing, not necessarily closing the door, but being more independent in this. And you're already doing that, Kat, and you're doing it so well. You left the door open for as long as you could, only to discover that your person really does a lot better with more independence. And frankly, if I'm thinking about this from two soul lovers who on the other side scripted out this lifetime, I'm looking at this moment and I'm seeing, wow, how perfect it is that Colleen's soul is deciding to help you learn this lesson of the I am North Node Aries. Do I have something wrong here, Kat? Helping you learn the I am energy here that allows you to lean into self-reliance, self-support. And because it's a 29 degrees Aries North Node, it very much has the influence and energy of Taurus North Node as well. That Taurus North Node is the energy. Oh, do I have it incorrect? Kat, this says 5/24/1986 up here where you pasted it. 5/24/1986, 10:55 p.m. Taipei, Taiwan. So this is telling me that your lesson is to learn how to be in your own energy at this time. And that just by focusing on that lesson, it's flexible enough as it is. There's no new flexibility that's required. Okay. Nothing new required there at all. You're already doing it. Okay. Okay, let me come back to the chat. Wait, I think year is wrong. Totally my fault. Gotcha. Ironic though, I think the message was still for you, even though the year is wrong. Okay. You didn't get any tarot clarifiers at all, unfortunately, so I can't add on to that message, Kat. Dang. It's 85, it's my fault. Oh, interesting. Even in 85, you would have had the Taurus North Node. That's interesting. Let me just see, take a quick peek. I'm out of curiosity. How does that shift things? Just to take a quick peek, because most of it is going to stay the same. Everyone's fingers has typos. Mercury retrograde happens. But let's just see. Okay. 1985, 5/24. That says 34, 24. 10:55. It's not going to change it much, I don't think. I think the message is still the message for you. Yeah, North Node Taurus. That's self-worth, self-esteem. valuing yourself. Let me share the screen real quick. Scorpio midheaven still, the eclipses are still going to bring changes for you. The only thing that really changes for you is you have a lot of fixed energy, not mutable energy. Okay, so you do have a lot of fixed energy, but still life is bringing the changes that you need, Kat. Like that, you can count on that. You're going to end up being flexible with that base, Kat, because the best way I can put it, you're going to be flexible with that base because you don't have any other choice, hon. Life isn't going to give you another choice. And frankly, you have the mutable sun. So I see even if you tried to be too inflexible, you're not going to be able to hold it for too long. Both your Mars and your sun sits in mutable Gemini. Hon, you're good. You're good. You don't need to worry about how to be solid and foundation and then have flexibility. You working with the rhythms of life, the changes as they're coming, just not resisting them is going to allow you to get there. Okay. That's how that's going to work for you. All right. Let me come back to the chat. Okay. Queen of Water, it is your turn, beloved. It is your turn, Miss Queen of Water. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Kat, if you want to add on for the tarot, I'm going to read for Queen of Water now, so we'll have to come back to you after I finish Queen of Water and Kelly for your tarot. If you want to hang out for a minute, you can certainly do that. But I'm going to move on now to work with Queen of Water. Okay. Australia. Let me share screen again. But yeah, Kat, if you want to, but the message pretty much remains the same, but we can add the tarot onto that to support you if you'd like to do that. No problem. Brunswick. Okay. 6/26, 1969. Birth time 1:33 p.m. Okay. All right. Queen of Water says, when will I get a new job role, or should I just do my own business if healings and earning potential is there? Excellent question. If I'm going to be honest with you, I think you're going to get a choice around this based on what I'm seeing in your chart. I think you have the chart to have it be a hybrid if you want. I see you work really well by yourself, and you also work really well in companies if people aren't trying to control you too much. So in your case, I would say if you're looking for a job and something to shift in the job world, my suspicion is that if you're continuing to look and you're looking with real heart, not in a half-hearted way. If you're looking with intention and really trying, my suspicion is that anytime this year or next year, it could happen with the Scorpio Taurus eclipse cycle, moon being the ruler of that midheaven of career. We've got another solar eclipse coming along in the fall. I would say fall, if you're intentional about this, Queen of Water. But I also see the likelihood of just carrying along with your healing business, bringing you plenty of success if you just keep going with it. My suspicion is because emotions rule the top of your chart, your house of career, that sign of Cancer. You're going to have to figure out what's going to work well for you. You're going to have to feel into it. And the reality is there is no job out there that you're going to be able to hold or sustain for an extended period of time with water at the top of your chart. There's no job you're going to be able to sustain if you're not feeling it. You will find a way to get yourself excused from that job, either by excusing yourself or conjuring up a person who makes you want to quit, or a person who says, thank you, your services are no longer needed, like a new boss. So it's going to be really important for you to be clear for yourself. Do I actually feel good at this juncture in my life working for anyone else? Or is this just something I'm letting myself do? And is this just something I'm going along with? Do I feel best when I am working for myself, or when I'm surrounded by team in an office to go to, even if that office is virtual? Do I prefer the guidance and the structure of weekly meetings and people I have to be accountable to, and people I get to supervise and people who supervise me? Do I prefer that? Do I feel best in that kind of setup? Or do I prefer to tell myself what to do day to day and execute on my own deliverables? These are the questions you need to ask yourself. I certainly see you have the capacity to be great at both. And simultaneously, I see if you wanted to pick a lane, the lane that's going to be most successful for you is the lane where you feel the best. Okay, so if you wanted to step into that healing business a bit more, just to support you from a clarity perspective, I do see next year you being able to make a bit more money through the healing business. I see that here. And if you wanted to stay at the job, could you? Yeah, I also see next year, if you wanted to, could be a little bit of a raise in store for you. There could be a little bit of a bit more money for you. All of that to say, the choice is yours. You don't have the chart of either exclusively an entrepreneur or exclusively an employee. It's up to you. Okay. Is this the right deck for her? I just started shuffling kind of automatically. Yeah. Here's what I got. I'm using the Santa Muerte deck. I don't know if you have that deck or know it. I've got 3 of Wands upright, Ace of Pentacles reversed, 7 of Cups upright. As I'm examining this, I see I'm like watching you watching yourself. This interesting thing, like I'm watching this, you know, with the 7 of Cups upright, it's about decisions, right? Having choices and having free will and figuring out which choice is going to be the best choice for you. This is telling me with the Ace of Pentacles reversed, though, at the center of the spread, until you've actually made a decision, unfortunately, it does look a little bit like money's on hold. Now, the nice thing about this with the 3 of Wands upright, this is telling me again, you have the potential for a hybrid approach, but you need to decide that it's going to be a hybrid approach, not just kind of flow along down the river. You need to decide, I have a healing business and I have a job and I'm cool with that. I really want to have both. And here are my hours for business. Here's my hours for my job. And here's my goals for my business. Here's what I want to accomplish in my job. Not just kind of doing the business when you have time, but instead having a more focused approach to it. There is with this particular 3 of Wands and the Santa Muerte deck, this is really talking about wading through, kind of the forest while you figure it out, like wandering through, trying to get to your destination. That 7 of Cups is telling me you have the options, but you do need to make a decision. When you make the decision, money improves significantly for you. But you got to pick a side or decide that both sides is the side that you're picking. and get off the fence about considering what you're doing and then just do it. And then just doing it. And I do see there is some assistance for you in clarity coming next year. There will be some external events that you won't be able to control that may make the decision for you if you have not made it yourself. So I would, get into a place, my love, of being really clear with yourself about what you want and what feels good for you. Because honestly, if until you know, the universe can't deliver it. Queen, when you've grown so much that nothing fits. Oh my gosh, yes. Nothing fits and you don't care. I don't know if you don't care, but I've had that version of the experience you just shared. It's like I've grown so much, nothing fits. And frankly, I don't really care. I'm like wandering in the wilderness here a little bit. So that's what I thought. You need to think through what you feel most like yourself in. That's with Cancer at the midheaven. If it doesn't feel good, it's not going to work for very long for you. Okay. Next up on the list, we have Kelly. Kelly, thanks for your patience. I'm going to read for you, darling. And then after Kelly, then there's Melita. Let me just double check my payment app and see who else is here who would like to be on the list. For those of you who are just joining, welcome. It's fun to hang out with you. Happy Saturday or Sunday, wherever you are in the world. And if you would like to get on the list and get a reading, you definitely can, but no pressure if it's just not the right thing for you today. The way to get on the list is in the pinned comment above the chat. In the blue highlighted chat box, if you take a look there, you'll find the payment link and how much to pay depending upon what kind of reading you would like. What you just saw me complete was an astro chart reading with a 3-card tarot pull to clarify and add additional information. And if you do decide to get on the list, what you'll find is that I'm reading for Kelly now. I'm going to read for Melita next. After I read for Kelly and Melita, the next person that is on the list, let's just check this payment app. Come on, payment app. Okay, my computer froze. Okay, the next person on the list would in fact be you if you make your payment now, is what it looks like. Okay, so Kelly, I'm going to come on back to the live stream and check out your question and get started on your reading. Thank you for your patience once again. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. Okay. 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 Kat wants to add her tarot pull, which is no problem. Queen of Fire, I'm not even human anymore. Oh my gosh, relatable vibes. Like, why am I even on this planet still? Like, what is there for me to do here? Okay. Give me 1 second, ladies. I need to just take a brief pause. Okay, thank you so much. All right. Um, Kelly, where is Kelly? All right, the list is closed now. I need to close the list. I can't take any more readings. All right. Let me come back to Kelly's chart. Okay, Missouri, thank you for your patience while I took care of something really quick. Webster. Okay. 9/22/1988 to 22 p.m. Okay. Kelly says, what stands out most to you in my chart during this upcoming new moon in Gemini on May 30th? Okay, let's take a look. Let us take a look for you. This would be the twins new moon, opening up a new twin cycle for people. New moon in Gemini there. Oh God. When I'm looking at this, what I'm seeing is that this is hitting your internal divine masculine energy. It's hitting that Jupiter. It's going to expand some of your intuition and open up some of your intuition, specifically as it pertains to your connection. Interestingly enough, Kelly, I'm also seeing that this new moon is talking a lot about opening up an energy here of renewed health, renewed well-being. I see if you haven't already like signed up for some kind of class, Kelly, if you haven't already found some sort of like health coach or new health regime or new health thing that you're doing, I see this new moon kind of bringing it forward for you and having you starting honestly to take your physical health and mental health more seriously. I'm seeing you start the process of, really honoring the fact that there's certain things that you're going to need to do with your physical and mental health to be able to step into, um, like an energy of like self ownership. It's interesting. Every person that I've ever worked with who's a divine counterpart has been given some level of kind of intuitive hit, whether they tell it to me or not, about what it would take to anchor divine love here in the third dimension. For some people, they have to clean up money. For other people, they need to clean up you know, their mindset around love and relationships has been deeply corrupted by the distortions of the third dimension. For other people, it's not about either one of those, but it's about, you know, kind of dealing with transcending certain family karma. And still for other people, it's about dealing with the world of the body. And in your case, this is really telling me, Kelly, that for you, it's really necessary. There's this new moon specifically in Gemini is going to bring forward that your next step has some things to do with the world of creativity and the body, and really leveraging your mind to support your physical health. I've been feeling in the DM energy big time, like either balancing both our runner energy, even sometimes. I've been thinking about starting to see a nutritionist. Yeah, it's time, Kelly. And there is a connection between you getting this done and your connection with your person because of the way this is hitting your Jupiter and aspecting your Juno. There is something about this new moon and you taking that step. There's something about you taking that step that is, it's this step that's the next step. You dealing with something in the realm of the body and your physical and mental health. You taking this step is what facilitates, it just facilitates your capacity for the connection to take its next step too. For whatever reason, the two things are linked at this time. So if you can find your way in that guidance around the body, healing the body, etc., that's the next step in your romantic connection, specifically with your counterpart, Kelly, and that's going to be highlighted with this new moon in Gemini. So there we go, Kelly. All right, Melita, it's your turn. Thanks so much, Vibe and Shine. That's super kind of you to say. Hey, Kelly. I'm so glad that it makes sense for you. I'm glad that you got the validation for your intuition. I'm going to read for Melita, then I'm going to read for Kat. I'm going to do Kat's tarot, and then we will come back. Counterpart, but I have a big union window. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Beautiful, Kelly. Yeah, there's something about the body that is required for it to anchor the next step in whatever the union energy is for you too. Something about dealing with the body that's required. Hey, Melita, can you please paste your birth details? I would really appreciate seeing your birth details so that I can create the chart. Okay. Okay, thanks, Melita, for pasting the details for me. Let me go ahead and share screen and get the charts together for you. Okay, Sal Vicente. What is it? Wait, where is Melita? Why isn't Sal Vicente here? I have Sal Felipe. I have Santa Maria. What's the next closest city to Sal Vicente? I don't have Sal Vicente in my software. What's the next closest city, please, Melita? 3/19, 1984. 3 p.m. Mindelo. Okay, thank you. 3/19/84, 3 p.m. Okay. Okay, Nolita wants to know, I'm struggling to decide to move I'm struggling to decide to move to a new job that would be financially better, but would be working from home. I want some perspective from the stars before making a decision. I'm happy where I work, but I need to earn more money. I understand that. Okay. Thank you, Mara. I appreciate that. Be happy to talk to you next week. Take a look at my website, K-Moon Astro, if you would like to book a private reading. I think the choice is related with my Chiron. Maybe. Your midheaven is ruled by the sign or the planet Venus. Venus is here inside of your 8th house. Right now, you need to make more money. That's Virgo, 2nd house here. Strongly decide to move to a new job. Interesting. It would be more money, but it would be working from home. Working from home doesn't seem like a bad move for you. I'm not sure why there's hesitation around it for you, but I do see the potential for it going really well for you. If I'm being honest, I see a series of changes on the Scorpio Taurus eclipse axis with deal with work and home that haven't finished playing out yet. I would say if it's become evident that you need to make more money and simultaneously something has opened up for that to happen, even if you are quite comfortable in the job that you've got, it might be worth going ahead and exploring the work from home option. I'm not seeing this as particularly Chiron related. The only way I could see this would be Chiron related is with the Chiron in the 10th house. My suspicion is that at times you may wonder if you work from home, would you be visible? Would people get that you're of value to the team? Would you be putting yourself in a precarious position? Would they not want to keep you around? That kind of thing. This is the kind of energy that tells me that Chiron 10th house, there's always a level of self-doubt in the career world. But if the offer has already come about that solves the problem that you have, which is a need to make more money, you didn't say, I'd like to make more money. You said, I need to. Especially given the precarious financial times that we have going on, I would say explore it. Start opening the ways to explore the work from home opportunity. See if it's safe, see if it's consistent, see if it's well paying enough. Explore the work from home opportunity and see kind of what's what there. Because in the world of that financial opportunity, I see that there's this way that things start to kind of move for you in a better financial direction once you've gotten to safer ground. Now, if you drag this out, Melita, unfortunately, what I'm seeing here, if you make no decision, the next series of eclipses this year and next year will end up making the decision for you. And I just think as long as you know what you need and you're clear, you can, and the universe has delivered an answer to you have a firm proposal. Exactly. The universe has answered your prayer. Now is the time to go ahead and make that happen. If you're feeling, in fact, like, yeah, I need more money. This is more money. It has shown up. I would go for it. I wouldn't, it just seems a little too perfectly aligned to skip it, Melita. The only reason I could see you skipping it, like I said, would be your own insecurity, but it's more money. It gives you what you need to be with your 5-month-old. I would go for it. I would work with this. Okay, hon. Yeah, this looks good, Melita. It looks really good. I see you moving into greater success and abundance next year. And I also see that this, especially if this job comes with a little bit of training that you're supposed to do, I'm seeing there's something you're supposed to be doing right now that grows you in terms of the training capacity piece, Melita. I'm seeing that here, and I'm really, I see that if this comes with training, it's kind of the right thing for you to do. Okay, especially if it's more money. Congratulations, Melita, both on being a new mom and getting that proposal for a job with more money. It's bittersweet to leave a place that you like, where you're happy, and simultaneously, if the reality is that you need more money, you might need to kind of lean into that. Okay, so Kat paid for a tarot pull. Kat, I can only pull, I think you added a whole new question. I can only read on the original question with your tarot pull. Let's just go back here and see what it was. You were after Diva. After Diva, we had Hope Glitterati. Where is Kat's question? Okay. Okay. Work section from home, still debating. No. Ground up. How do I channel the eclipse energy with the intention of creating a solid yet flexible foundation? One that can incorporate new things successfully without throwing off the balance, right? Okay, so Kat needs a solid foundation. Kat's starting to really focusing on valuing herself and her foundation. And I remember from looking at your chart, it was Taurus 4th house when we got the year right. North node, Taurus, 4th house. So yeah, this is talking about focusing on your own security. North node, Taurus, 4th house. That's the lesson in this lifetime. It's interesting because I'm almost seeing, as I'm intuiting into this, that the more stable you can become in your home life, actually, the more stable things become in your work life, as opposed to the other way around for you. So what does Kat need to know to create a stable foundation? What does Kat need to know to create a stable foundation for herself? Yeah. I don't think, Kat, it was an accident that you ended up giving me the year as a typo, because the first card that came out is 9 of Wands. And this is really about, in this Light Seer Tarot, protecting your land. There's a woman here standing at a fence, and she's standing behind the fence, kind of looking, like, can I trust you? Will you harm me? Do you belong on this land? This is my land. You shall not pass. And so this 9 of Wands energy is the opening for creating that stable foundation. In the original chart reading with the incorrect year, the message that came through was to really focus on that north node. And that north node with the original chart reading was Aries. And that was about standing in the I am and letting go of the partnership energy. South node Libra. Libra is about partnership. South node letting go in this lifetime. But when we got the correct year, it was North Node Taurus, fourth house, standing in the value of who you are, like valuing yourself enough to protect it, water it, feed it. The second card in the spread is the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles energy here is an energy of like slow and steady build. I like the Light Seer Tarot Knight because the horse is in motion. The man is not on the horse. He's actually walking out in front of the horse. And so he's taking accountability for his journey. And both the horse and the man are in motion moving forward, as opposed to with the Rider Waite, that horse is not moving at all. This is slowly moving forward, but moving forward at a slower pace on foot. Two of Swords upright in the Light Seer Tarot. This is telling me that there's some truths here that you are aware of about your circumstance when it comes to creating that steady home. That Nine of Wands, when I put all of this together and, kind of stop breaking down the images I'm seeing, this is telling me that the lesson for you in all of this to create stability in your foundation is, number one, you're already on the way to doing this. The hand of divine intervention has made that possible at this time. Number two, there's some things that you need to be willing to look at about how willingly you're willing to let other people into your space to be a part of it. There's a need to be a bit more cautious going forward in the allowance of other people into your world and into your space. That everyone doesn't just get to come in because you feel good around them. They actually have to be a positive contributing factor to the circumstance in order for them to be, allowed into this space, allowed into this land. They can't just show up and receive, like take from the orchard that you have so carefully tended to, without also having taken care of that orchard, contributed to it themselves. Okay. Yes, you can share from your garden, but no, you cannot share everything going forward with people who aren't also contributing to the garden's health and well-being. And so this is a moment, a turning point, a recognition that there needs to be just a little bit more of a higher barrier to entry. It's hard to see it. It's hard to say it, especially when you've had so much compassion for the people around you. You just want to help, heal, etc. You want to make things better for other people. This is showing me that that is in fact who you are, but that you've been left in the Nine of Wands position, which means that you don't necessarily have enough for yourself. And so in the process, you are clear. Knight of Pentacles, yes, I can rebuild. Yes, I can move forward. Yes, it's possible for me to get where I want to go from here. It's not the way I'd prefer to go, but simultaneously, there's a reckoning in the move forward, in the reconstruction of this foundation. And the reckoning is, yes, you can let people in, but there needs to be a bit of slow moving cautiousness around it going forward. Yes, people can share in your garden, but there has to be a bit more equal give and take. Yes, you can allow people, you can have people on your land, but you cannot have squatters. You can have visitors, but not squatters. You have to have contributors going forward. And it's an interesting lesson to see come out, especially given everything that's going on for you, Kat. That's exactly right. You just summarized it with perfection. The downside to that is that if there isn't balance, you hurt the whole more by not making them do what they can't. Yeah, you compromise them. That's exactly right. You compromise their growth and therefore the growth of the connection. That makes total sense from the inner out. Yeah, very good. You don't have to answer that one if it's not allowed. Okay, cool. So it looks like I answered the question and kind of validated and illuminated a little bit. Normally at this time, I would, in closing, give us a little oracle, but I actually have run up against a time constraint and need to go. I want to take a moment to deeply thank Miss Kylie for being such a wonderful moderator this entire time. Send me an email with some times to connect, Kylie, so we can do that. Thank you for everyone who's been on the list, who's been patient today. I want to thank everyone who's asked brilliant questions. And I want to thank you all for being so supportive to one another here in the chat. You've been wonderfully kind and generous hearted to one another, and we need more of that in this world at this time. Lastly, I want to encourage each of you to just stay safe. And where you need support, where you need a friend, reach out. I love you guys. Take great care, and bye for now.